us. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I'll be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Didn't even get to cross. I said I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat off track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We on, hating because you want. Shining like it's neon. Rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, they might just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, they might just have to leave. Yeah, shoot, 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 shoot. Yeah, shoot, shoot. Yeah, shooting, shooting, shooting. Yeah, shooting, shot. Shooting stars, shooting stars, shooting stars, shooting stars. Didn't even get to cross.
Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.
Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? I'm here with the one and only Iggy, Brian Daigle. Breaking news. Harry Kane is leaving Spurs. Have we jumped the gun? Have we gone too early? We were told at 11:30 p.m. tonight, Daniel Levy will make his decision. I think he's gone. I've been saying it for months. 140 people in the building already. My goodness me. Welcome. Thanks for joining us, guys. Big up Tottenham on tour as well. Brian Daigle's channel. Make sure you like and subscribe there. Make sure you like and subscribe here. Daigle, I'll come to you first. Well. Is it going to be the day that we've dreaded? The day we've been speaking about for many, many years? Is today the day?
So first of all, big up to everyone in the chat. Big up, Iggy, brother. Good seeing you. Been a little while since we've been on stream together. I think the day is here, but I don't think we're going to hear it tonight. I think it's been settled tonight, and we're going to hear more and more tomorrow. But like every single Spurs fan right now, we're all clock watching for 11:30 to see if Romano drops anything. But I do think we have seen Harry Kane in a Tottenham Hotspur shirt for the last time.
You think he's gone as well, but not being announced tonight. Iggy, what about you? Is this the day? Do you think he's gone? Because you were 50-50. You didn't know if he was going to go or not. I said from the beginning, there's no way we're losing this money. And then the last week or two, you began to believe actually he's going to go. Is today the day?
No, I don't think today's the day. I think he will go eventually, but I don't think today's the day though, because I've been hearing, obviously, you got the same as everybody else looking at the news and what's been reported on social media. It was definitely, it's got to be done by 12 o'clock or else, blah, 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 blah. And now, slowly, the closer we get into the time, people are just starting to backpedal. Well, no, it's like, it's going to be decided Saturday morning. Now we're slowly moving. Well, it is Saturday morning because in Germany it's 12:05. So
Yeah.
it is technically Saturday morning. So I don't know, guys. Somebody's not telling it right here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Listen, between what Bayern Munich are offering and what Levy wants, it's close. The figures are getting closer and closer. So I think I think this is Bayern Munich's best chance to sign Levy. I wish to sign Levy. Their best chance to sign Kane. And because I don't think Bayern Munich could get another opportunity to sign him better than that right now. I think if they leave it to the following season, I don't think it would happen. I don't think he'll leave and bother going Bayern Munich. And if we have any saying left to where he goes, this is it right here. After this week or this next 3 days, it will be up to Kane where his next club will be. So I think in the end it will sign for them because the figures between what's been requested and what's been asked and what's been and what will be accepted are very, very close. So it's only a matter of time.
Well, we've got a friendly this weekend, so the question has to be if the well, let's see, because we've had one cancelled already this season, so you never know. But we do have a scheduled friendly going on this weekend. And by the way, people attending the friendly, don't forget, we are holding. Brian Daigle will be there. Iggy will be there. Ticket price protest. Sunday, 6th of August versus Shakhtar, 11:30 a.m. opposite the club shop. We are supporters, not customers. Make sure you go and represent. This is not the trust's protest. This is the usual protesters protesting about ticket prices. But
still, can I just add one thing onto that? Just one thing very quickly. Just for people that are thinking that about just coming down for the protest, like we did for the Brentford game, we're hoping there's a few pubs showing the game afterwards. And just like the Manchester United game where I won't be going in, a load of us will be going to the Coach and Horses. So if people want to think, oh, what am I going to do after the protest? If the game is on TV, a load of us are going to go watch it in a pub. So feel free to join us.
Yeah, guys, come down. I think the last protest we did before the season broke up, Crackers came down, and you and I think was it ended up going to the pub with him and watching the game.
Yeah, about 50 of us.
Yeah, you see, there you go. So it's a bit of a get together of Spurs fans as well. It's not just about protesting. So, we still have a good vibe and enjoy the day as much as we can, not just stand there getting either burnt in the sun, which is rare in England, or soaking wet normally in the rain. But yeah, my question was for both of you guys: if we've got a friendly game this Sunday, does Harry Kane play? Because if this is going to happen, you're guessing it's going to happen I think it's something will be announced tonight, or there'll be news over the weekend, which means are they going to allow Harry Kane to play in a competitive friendly game?
Go
on, Brian.
Okay, so first of all, I just let you know that someone quite reliable has just let me know that Levy is currently boarding a plane to Miami. Make that of what you always often see the crook. So
Germany's that way. Let's go this.
Exactly. So he might not be there Sunday, and if he's not there Sunday, I think we know exactly why he's not. What was the question, Stel? Sorry, that came in just as that dropped. What was we talking about? Sorry, brother. I just saw that went a bit.
I asked you the plane to Miami. Which airport is Levy landing in?
Or do you think I'll be standing here if I knew? Do you think I'd be talking to you right now as much as I love you both? No, what was the question?
Yeah, do you think Kane will play in the friendly against Shakhtar this weekend?
No. I said when I was on We Are Tottenham TV, I think this might be used. I was at the game. I don't know if you were, either of you were, or anyone in the chat was. I was in the stadium the day Jermaine Defoe was saying goodbye before he moved to Toronto. And they had him on at half time and did a farewell kind of speech to the Spurs fans. I can clearly see something like that for Hugo and Harry. If there's that's the way I see it. I think that would be if there is talk of him going and this is advanced, there's no way they're risking him being on the pitch.
Someone's just said here, isn't leaving Miami watching Inter Miami, hence why he's going to Miami.
Yeah, he's trying to get Messi. He's going to bring Messi back.
Oh yeah. Listen, outrageous question. If he did bring Messi, do you think that would appease the fans for a season?
Oh my days.
I just asking.
I'm going to win the lottery, and I'm going to give money to a Nigerian prince who's all out of money at the moment. He's going to pay me back next week.
Yeah, okay. Right, so no.
I think it'd be very telling though if he plays or doesn't play. I think if he plays, it'll be very surprising because obviously with a deal meant to be very close either way, you wouldn't risk being involved. But I can see like Brian just said, he can come on at half time and say his goodbye. Then you'll know. Then you'll have the confirmed news. If it hasn't been announced by then, whether he's leaving or not. If he doesn't play, I think then you rest assured he's gone. If he does play, it does leave the door open of him staying because it doesn't make sense why a player that on the verge of a transfer will be involved in a game, potential risk of being injured, etc., etc. So, listen, for me, it's a bittersweet, man. This is all bittersweet because everyone loves Kane, man. There's no two ways about it. Everyone understands his position. Everyone understands why he's looking to move. We all understand why he's looking. I think we would all move if we had the possibility to do so. Let's be honest. It's just with the difference between us and him that he's a professional footballer and he makes the best choice for his career, for himself first and foremost. We don't have that luxury, unfortunately. So we don't have the luxury to say, you know what, this summer we're going to leave Spurs and join another team to support them. We don't have that luxury because if we did, trust me, we'll take it. Who would sign? Who in the right head will sign up for another? Who in the right head will sign up for another season of this? You know what I mean?
Right, so I was thinking about this. Okay. Why is this whole Harry Kane speculation even happening, and why is he looking to leave? And why is he not bought into another project? We know why, but when you actually deep it, okay, there's a very telling picture that's told, right? So if I just get up some images here, this was when we were in our peak. This was when we were really a team that everyone began to fear. So we are going back to the Poch days. Look at our attacking power. Goals scored, goals from set pieces, chances created, shots on target, goals conceded, shots on target, faced first. We were the best in the land. Number one, man, like unrivaled. And then when you also look at the youngest team, goals conceded, shooting accuracy, keeper sweeping, first. We were first for everything except where we finished in the league. So that must be painful.
We laugh because we can't cry.
Spursy. First in everything. Where do you finish? Second.
So this begins to plant the seeds. So if you're Harry Kane, you're thinking, we came first for everything, but the one thing we wanted. That begins to get the brain thinking. But then you look at like big moments, things that a lot of us talk about. So that semi-final against Chelsea that we lost, and people blame the Poch for starting Son left back. And then you look at the Champions League final where Kane started. Was he fit? Was he not fit? But when you deep that as well, this was the FA Cup semi-final. At 2-2, Chelsea made 3 subs. We made, I think, 1 or 2. Look at the bench. we had Nkudu, Janssen, Sissoko, Wimmer, Lopez, and Davies. Now, they had Fabregas, Hazard, Costa, Begovic, Zuma, John Terry. No disrespect, but if you're Harry Kane and you're looking at our bench, you're thinking, we haven't got a chance here. So we need to strengthen that. Let's go a couple of years later to Champions League final. On the bench, Eric Dyer, Davinson Sanchez, Lamela, Wanyama wasn't fit, Carl Walker-Peters, Juan Foyth, Gazzaniga, Serge Aurier, and Ben Davies. What's really changed? So is it not a case that we've not done anything to convince this guy this is the club you've got to be at? This is why you've got to give it one more time. I know we've already done 6 projects, Harry, in 8 years, and we're now 23 years into a 4-year project. But can you just give us one more project? When you look at this, when you look at the stats that we used to have, but then the quality of the squad, are you surprised he looked at Man City a year or 2 ago and now why he's looking at bigger clubs? Has he already known this, but he was just waiting for the moment where he could actually get out of it?
Go on, Brian.
It's, you know what, for me, it's hard. If we got to look at this as well. You've mentioned those stats. You've got to look at the records we're talking about, not just our record goal scorer, golden boot winner, golden assist provider, same season. Most goals in a calendar year, done that. Most hat-tricks in a season, done that. This guy is just a walking, talking, record-breaking machine. And still, even with the stats you put on there still, when you say, what have you got to show for it? And he says, an Audi Cup, a Water Toll Cup, and a Tiger Cup.
Don't disrespect the Tiger Cup. Don't disrespect the Tiger Cup.
I'm sorry, I'm going there. You know me, I'm going rogue. You look at it, and then you just got to look at people that he's seen, like Kyle Walker, leave. And see how many trophies he's won in his short career. And we've seen the list of how many people have gone on to win trophies since they've gone. Even managers that have gone on to win trophies. And he's sat here and done everything he can. And you've got to remember, the last few seasons, I think we finished 5th, 6th, 4th, 8th. And in every season, the worst goal return has been 17 in the Premier League, and the most has been 30. And still, we can't say, look what this guy does for us. Let's get the quality around him. You cannot blame him. You cannot blame him for thinking, right, I've got one. Listen, when people hit this age normally and they go to America or Saudi Arabia now, they're doing it for the payday. We all know they're doing it for one last payday. Well, this man's doing it for trophies. He's not doing it for the payday. He's doing it for trophies, which is what every single footballer wants to achieve. And if he goes...
And Brian, just to add to that, how many Spurs fans criticise Harry Kane saying, if he stays, he's not ambitious? Well, is Kane not now throwing it back at everyone and saying, no, I am ambitious, I'm out? So people that do have a go at him, well, you had a go at him for not being ambitious, so we're...
Correct. This is the predicament we're in. We should have used the time when the whole Man City thing came up. Kept saying today, there's no plan. When Van der Sar signed his last contract at Manchester United, Ferguson said he signed for 2 years and we're using these 2 years to find the heir to the throne. And they used those 2 years to find David De Gea. All right, got off to a shaky start, but I think Man U fans will say, look what he gave us. Look what he did. For 3 years, he was untouchable. Trophies galore. They did the scout. There's no planning here. There's no planning. It should have been planned, should have been prepared. And we find ourselves in this mess again.
Iggy, when you look at those stats, by the way, guys, we've got almost 400 people watching. Please smash the like and subscribe. Also, just take 10 seconds out of your viewing time with us. Just quickly go over to Tottenham on Tour, hit the like, hit the subscribe. I'm going to give you 10 seconds. Got about 7 seconds left. Just go over there. Just quickly, Tottenham on Tour, like, subscribe, and then come back and... All right. Iggy, quick super chat, by the way. Harry is saying to himself, I'm finally free from the shackles of Levy and Enoch. In fact, I put that on the thumbnail. I put Harry Kane saying freedom. Big up, Anthony. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, Iggy, when you look at the stats and you look at, we were so unbelievably good under Pochettino that from that position, we've just gone slowly backwards. And you look at the bench in key games, and it's almost like we've always left ourselves short. We've never got those 3 or 4 players that can come on and change a game. And Harry Kane's probably looking at it and saying, do you know what? I'm running out of time. I can't take another risk. And when you look at us now in the transfer window, what have we really done this window to convince Harry Kane this is the place to be? What if we really look at this window as terms of a statement? What have we done so far?
In all honesty, I don't think anything could be done in this window for him to even change his mind. I really believe that. I think he'd made up his mind at the end of last season. I think he made up his mind the moment Conte left. I think that was the end of it. That was just, I think, with after Jose Mourinho, which convinced him to stay, then Conte's arrival convinced him to stay. I think he used his last bullets, if you like, with those 2 managers. Once those managers came and went in the manner, in pretty much the same manner, really. One got sacked before a final, the other one got sacked because he called about just about everyone out, didn't he, in that press conference? So I think that was it for me. Once that happened, I think he just said, you know what, I'm going to finish off the season, and whatever happens, I won't be signing a new contract. I won't be staying. He will stay a year if it means at the end of the season he'll choose the club that he wants, or he'll move regardless this summer. So in that aspect of things, I think the fate was, the whole thing was done and dusted after Conte left. In regards to the finals and what you've been talking about, listen, I have this thing that when we lose a final, when a final is lost, I have this capability of blocking it out to the point where I don't remember anything about that final. The Liverpool game that we lost in the final, I saw that game once. I never revisited it, and I hardly remember just about anything from that game. And similar to the other finals that Kane has appeared and lost as well. What I do remember from those finals that Kane didn't hardly appear, didn't turn up for any of them, as did the team. So I understand what you're saying about the substitutes, and I understand what you're saying about the squad was never good enough to the point where you can make the changes.
Iggy, can I challenge you on that?
But I think for me, I think that even that final with our best 11, I agree that we didn't have the squad. I agree that we had rubbish bench, but even that first 11,
I want to
I don't
challenge
think
you
it was good enough.
Right, you say Kane didn't turn up in those finals. A lot of fans have said similar. What I want to ask is this:
the truth.
Did he get the service in any of those finals?
Listen, you can argue that, but the thing is, it's not just Kane's not the reason why we lost the finals. Kane was
but you said he didn't turn up, right? So I'm just saying,
but the team didn't turn up. The team didn't turn up, him included.
Right. So if the team hasn't turned up, where's the service? This has always been my kind of counter to it. I've always said he never got the service. And personally, the Champions League final, I was dead against him starting. When I saw that yellow banner running across the bottom of the screen on Champions League final day saying breaking news, Harry Kane starts Champions League final, my heart sank because I knew that was a bad move. I think a lot of fans.
Peer pressure. That was just peer pressure. That was on the club. That was the sponsors. That was everything going for that. That was just pressure of him having to start the media circus around it. And what have you. It was the wrong decision. Ultimately, it didn't pay off. They took a risk. It didn't pay off. It's as simple as that. Llorente and Lucas were both overlooked for that final. The very two that actually took us to the final were completely overlooked from the starting lineup. But for me, it's just been. It was just nobody turning up. It wasn't. We didn't turn up for those finals. I don't remember. I'm not putting it all on Kane. He was just one of the players that didn't turn up. But us as a team never seem to turn up for these important games. And that's just a mentality problem. It's not It's not like, we was good enough to go and win against Man City. Even with Jose gone, we had a decent team in that final, but we didn't turn up. We didn't show anything to go and win the game. And it doesn't matter whether Man City are a far, far greater team than we were. Sure, was it ideal to get rid of the manager 6 days before the final? Of course it wasn't. But we should have still shown something to try and win that game. Same thing for the Champions League final. It wasn't the greatest final. Was it the greatest Liverpool performance? Absolutely not. But what did we do to go and try and win that game? Nothing. And you brought up the Chelsea game. That was a good Tottenham side against Chelsea. That was a good Tottenham side. Still didn't show nothing to go and win that game.
1 minute. Hold on. All right. So this is my argument. Big up, JP. Welcome. Against Chelsea, right? Against Chelsea at 2-2, it was anyone's game, right? Anyone can go on and win it. Spurs were playing really well. Chelsea were playing well as well. What they did was they brought on Cesc Fabregas, one of the best midfielders in Premier League history, Eden Hazard, who won Player of the year after or two, and Diego Costa, who won in the league in one of the seasons. The only player we had on the bench that could really change it was Kyle Walker. It was after the substitutions were made, we lost the game. Is that not where we lost it? Is that not where we lost the game? And in the Champions League, I would argue, and
the fact you've just said Kyle Walker, was the game changer, goes to show a big problem. That your right back was the game changer in that sub bench. I was at that game, and that was a really good game of football until they made those subs. It was a really good, entertaining game of football. Champions League, I think everyone agrees that Kane should have started on the bench. And my reason for him starting on the bench is I didn't think if it went all the distance and the penalties, I'd rather Harry Kane came off the bench when everyone's tiring and take a penalty rather than try and get the game won in 90 minutes because he wouldn't have lasted extra time and penalties. The other final against Man City, we obviously know what happened. Mason came in and also he got injured in the FA Cup against Everton before it. But this whole final hoodoo, you got to remember, he got us to these finals. Maybe not the Champions League, but he played a major part in every single success we've had. And it's been taken away, hasn't it? It's been taken away. He hasn't had... I described it as we had this strike. It was like manna from heaven. We literally had this magnificent player on our books. This magnificent player. This jewel that we could have just built around and advanced. We had it. We had the goose that laid the golden egg, and we squandered the opportunity. We squandered the opportunity by not buying correctly, and
we've had two of them, Brian. We've also had Sonny along with him, right? The most assists in the Premier League.
Is that JP?
Very Barry White.
No, man, I've got really horrible cold and stuff. I can't. I'm like literally. I only came on as it was the Kane hour. Like literally just to go. All right, how's it going? I've been dying, man.
Can you sing Barry White's "You're My Everything"?
Hello.
Yeah, that Champions League final, Sissoko and Winks were in the midfield for Spurs. I mean, Sissoko and Winks, a Champions League final partnership. Are we kidding ourselves? The Champions League, and we put on the pitch Winks and Sissoko. I mean,
but that's on the manager, man. You can't blame Levy for that.
It's on the squad. It's on the quality of squad.
I agree,
that was the squad
he had a good team there, man. He had a good team there. No one told him to start Winks in that final. No one's told him to start Kane.
Who else would he start? Who else would he start? Wanyama was injured. Dembele we sold in January. Who did he start?
What again? Why was Dembele sold on January?
That's not the manager's fault, and that's not Kane's fault. This is what I'm trying to say.
You can't spare the manager of those decisions being made, and you accept it.
Okay, so I go back to my question. I go back to my question. Who does he start in midfield then? Wanyama's injured, then Belly's sold. Who goes in the central mid?
Winks cannot play in that final, man. I can't listen. I
Who
can't remember the
goes-
There's
squad.
no one else, is
Did you
there?
not hear me? What I said at the
I think
beginning?
that's
I had the
Still's.
thing.
I think that's
mentally
Still's
blocked
point.
out.
There's no one else.
Bring the team up for that final so I can refresh my memory because I told you I blank those when are those bad memories like finals and games lost. I just have a thing of blocking it out. I don't remember anything about that final other than the fact that we lost 2-0. I don't remember
Handball.
anything about it.
I remember the handball.
Yeah,
I was
the
at White Hart
Sissoko,
Lane.
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
at White
I'll
Hart
find the
Lane
Champions
watching it
squad.
on the
I'll
big
find you the starting
screens.
11.
Do you know
Actually, they
what?
weren't. They weren't big screens. They were like
I mean,
tellies
you know
on the
what?
pitch.
Right from the what was that first minute, 2 minutes that when that penalty was given, you just think to yourself, how do you start a game conceding a penalty in the first minute? I mean, how is that even possible? I don't remember another Champions League final like it. I don't remember a decision of that magnitude being made in the first minute of a final. Never.
So
Name me a
guys, listen,
Champions League
before you
final.
carry on, I've got to go to bed now. My parents are going to bed, so it's my curfew, so to speak. So I best hit the sack.
Yeah, man.
Iggy, I'll see you Sunday. JP,
Yeah,
you
man.
coming down Sunday?
I would love to. It really just depends how I'm feeling,
Right. Well,
mate,
I wish
to
you
be honest.
better. Still, I'll speak to you
Yeah.
tomorrow. I'll speak to you all tomorrow. Everyone in the chat, have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Take it
Like,
easy,
comment, and
Brian.
subscribe to these wonderful boys. And as always, Levy out.
See you later, man.
See you,
Levy
brother.
out.
I think his point is probably the fact that there is no one else. But you know what pees me off most about that still is that getting to that point, walking around after that semi-final, arm round Poch, walking onto in the final, walking around that pitch, Mr. Daniel, Mr. Poch together, absorbing that atmosphere. You think, all right, we know what the team is as it stands right now. I want to be in this club. This is the place I want us to be in, right? Opportunities to kick on, blew it again. It was after that we went like 3 windows without buying anyone, right?
Well, this is it. We had
No. It was
we was
3
on par with
windows that led
Liverpool,
up to
didn't
that.
we?
It was 3
We
windows
was on
that led
par
up
with
to that.
Liverpool.
How's it? Yeah.
We was on
But like
par with
literally,
Liverpool at that point. Literally was
mm.
hand in hand.
But that Champions League, like those semi-final and the final, I almost thought was the point. He was walking about on that pitch, and he'd be going, "Yes, this is where I want to be with this club. This is where I want to make my millions."
Yeah, it's
Not
just
really got back there, right?
yeah. The thing is, we always knew that this day would come where Kane would look to go, would look to move. It's the reasons. For me, it's not the fact that Kane is leaving that's the problem. For me, it's the reasons that he's leaving, and they are not any different to what it was a year ago, 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. It's the same thing. It's the same. It's a lack of footballing
Right,
ambition.
here we
Is
go,
the
Iggy.
reason why he left.
Here we go.
Oh,
So
he's
this
got
was
the
the Champions
team.
League final starting 11, right? So we had Lloris in goal, a back four of Rose Vertonghen, Alderweireld, Trippier, Ali, Son, Kane in almost the front three, and then in the middle, Winks, Sissoko, and Eriksen. So Winks and Sissoko were the 2 centre mids. On the bench, we had, so we're looking for centre mids here. Vorm, Sanchez, Lamela, Wanyama, who was carrying that injury, Dyer, Walker, Peters, Loriente, Foyth, Gazzaniga, Aurier, Moura, Ben Davies. There was nothing in this squad to put in the central midfield. Nothing. And yet,
you could have had a situation where
we
we
question
had
Kane.
we could have that Ali should have been playing more centrally. Moura should have played out wide, and arguably Lorente should have started up front instead of Kane. That's what I would. If you're saying
that's fair enough, but you still got
Eriksen in
Sissoko
line,
and Winks in the
but
midfield.
Eriksen could have played Eriksen could have played in the role where Winks is playing right now. Ali could have been playing where Eriksen is. Put Moura out wide on the right, and that's your team right there. And then Kane, Lorente, arguably one plays in front of the other. But
Well,
that
you
should
want
have been
you want
it.
Eriksen to play in the holding mid.
If it was a choice of playing Winks there or dropping Eriksen 20 yards and playing Ali in the 10, I would have done that. Or maybe you put Eriksen and Ali with Sissoko sitting. Any of those choices would have been better than playing sideways Winks. Any of those.
All right, so
And Ali, why is Ali playing out on wide on the right? I don't get it. It just didn't make sense. We never set up like that. Never.
So just 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
But
So
you're right. Listen.
Brian's
I'm
just sent
not
me a
saying
note, right?
it.
Sorry, it's 2 seconds. So Brian's just sent us a note just saying, Justin, the numbers in the public domain are wrong. The money being discussed for Harry Kane between FC Brian is higher. So Bayern apparently today offer around 110 million, that's 90 million euros plus 20 million in add-ons. So it's about 94 million all in all.
Yes, JP. Look, I've got it all here. So the way the story kind of unfolded, which got us to today, is Harry Kane gave an ultimatum saying that if an agreement isn't made before the Brentford game, then he's basically staying at Spurs and he'll walk on a free. So he's basically putting Levy into a corner. Then Bayern Munich, that's the wrong order. Sorry. Yeah, Bayern Munich, beg your pardon, wrong order. Then Bayern Munich sent a
But I
deadline of
think he's
midnight
just saying
tonight.
kind of like
Then there was a
whatever
new offer
numbers
from
that,
Bayern, 100
whatever
million
numbers they're
euros.
talking about. Yeah.
Well, this one here says 120 million euros
Yeah.
in their final offer, and then Sky Sports broke that Bayern Munich submit final bid for Tottenham. So the most recent one we were told was this one here, 120 million euros, which is about round about 100 million. That is, well, just over actually.
So
So
they
what I'm
reckon
saying,
this number is 94 million pounds,
yeah.
which is 77 million on the table and 17 million in add-ons.
Yeah, but Levy's looking for around 100 million quid anyway. So that's the number. What I'm trying to say is the numbers are close. That's what I was saying earlier
6
on.
million quid. 6 million quid.
The numbers are close,
I
man.
think
The numbers are close.
the negotiation is in the add-ons, because if the add-on is you'll get your add-ons if we win the treble, well, the chances of that aren't high. So I'm not going to.
And Kane's top scorer in the Bundesliga and in the Champions League.
Yeah, you're going to want the add-ons to actually happen. You want the actual outcomes to happen, so you
to
get
be
your money. And
realistic.
also, I'm sure there's some kind of buyback clause agreement that Levy wants, which then means Bayern are going to say, yeah, we'll put the buyback clause, but we need to get rid of some of these add-ons. And this is where it's going back and forth. We've got the biggest fraud in America on the show. There he is.
Grab a player
fraud.
off them, eh? Hey.
Right then. How do you, mate?
The biggest fraud in America. What a way to introduce me, fam. Oh, that's good.
Listen, this channel's honest.
Englishman.
We like honesty on our channel.
In America.
But Dan, look, I'll quickly ask you, Dan. First of all, how you doing? And then secondly, do you think this is it? Is Kane gone?
Well, for the first question, I'm a bit on the fence, honestly. Now we've signed the centre back, I'm happy, but at the same time, this Harry Kane situation is draining me. But I do think Kane is gone. I do think that if as you were just talking about now, as soon as I came on, if the add-ons are achievable, I think this deal is done. Honestly, like 120 million, I don't see any other club offering more than that.
Well, there's no one else bidding. It's only Bayern Munich in the.
Man United have made a few. There's been reports that Man United have been looking at it. But that's the only thing.
Mate, for a player that's on his last year of his contract, £100 million is good money, man. It's good
120
money.
the add-ons are achievable, of course.
Yeah, but it's good money. Even 100 million straight with no add-ons, and it's still good money. There's no denying that. It's funny that it's the number that's behind Dan, 100. Look.
Oh,
that's the figure right there. No,
100
but
mil,
100
the magic number. Eh?
It's
the magic number.
But what I'm trying to say is, it's details now. Yeah, it's the add-ons. But what I'm saying is, the agreement is close. They're not gonna not make that deal happen.
If they're haggling about 6 million quid,
it's
like,
Come on, you know that. So it's just like I said. For me, the whole thing, we always knew that this day would come. Whether it was this year, next year, it was always going to come. It's just for me that the bitter pill to swallow is the fact that it's the reasoning why he's leaving. He's not leaving because he desires a new challenge. He's done everything there is to do at Tottenham, and he kind of has. From an individual point of view, he's done everything there is to do.
Yeah.
But ultimately, he's leaving because of lack of footballing ambition. He's not leaving for money, because Brian has rightly said he could have gone to Saudi Arabia, where everybody seems to be going right now. That's a big pay, big pay deal.
Except for any Tottenham players.
Well, the thing is, we can't seem to get rid of anyone. Have you noticed? No club in world football is coming in for any players that shoot that's on its way out. Nobody. How is this possible? No league in the world is coming in for any Spurs player that's currently on the transfer market. You couldn't give them away. We're talking about 10 million for Ndombele. We're talking 12 million for Sanchez. None of them are happening, man. And it's such a small
Look,
fee, given
Harry Kane.
what the
Harry
current market
Kane's.
is currently offering. It's insane.
I think
That's
whatever happens, he's gone. I think he's gone. I've been saying it for 2 months because if there's one thing I do understand, I understand Levy. I know the kind of things that he does, and there's no way that he, and I said it and I keep repeating it on every show stream I do, he's not going to let £100 million just walk off the balance sheet. You go and tell your investors and stakeholders why £100 million has just been wiped off the value of the club, because Harry Kane is part of the asset. Part of the
He
asset.
is the asset.
You can't just we'll write that
He
off.
is the
And
asset.
also, I know what Daniel Levy's like. He didn't get rid of Ericsson when we had a £40 million bid, and then once he realised he's going to go for a free, he took 17 million. When he took that 17 million, he must have thought to himself, "What an idiot! I took 17 million. He's played rubbish for 3 months. I should have taken the 40." He's in the same position with Harry Kane. He's in the exact same situation. So there's no way Kane stays. And
he said he won't do a Sol Campbell again, right? He said he won't do a Sol Campbell again and stuff like that. Allow someone like that to go away on a free.
Nobody in business just allows money to walk out the door like that. And Levy is a shrewd businessman. Let's have it right. If there's one thing we can't knock him for, is his business acumen. So to suddenly just say, yeah, on this one occasion, we'll just write off 100 million. We owe 800 million pounds on the stadium. He's going to write off 100 million. It's just, this is why I said Kane's going to go. He's the only reason Kane is going is because Levy is going to let it happen, because financially it doesn't make sense to keep him. And this argument of, if we get top 4, we'll get that money back. What if you let Kane go, reinvest the money properly, and get top 4? Then you've doubled your returns. So I don't know.
I think
all this we're going to keep Kane. I think it's for the birds, personally.
A little while ago, we were saying we pretty much need a rebuild, right? And I don't think we can really have a rebuild with Harry in it. It just means asking him to hang around or signing him up for another 4 years, 5 years for him to be in this rebuild. You might as well start afresh, right? Clean slate.
Yeah.
Young, hungry players. Let's just take a couple of seasons, bed them in. Let's go.
I get the young, hungry players thing, but that Argentinian player that we signed, I don't think he's good enough. Personally, I don't think he's good enough.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean
Iggy, you're on mute.
Alejo Veliz?
Yeah, Alejo Veliz. I don't think he's good enough.
The pitch will determine that, Dan. The pitch.
No. Yeah, I'm ready to give him time. I'm not just gonna write.
I'll tell you what. I'm always. You know what?
Tim Vickery said he's not good enough, and he's a South American correspondent.
When we look at players that we don't know, or players that we know very little about, or players that we've only really looked into the last couple of days, just because he's been linked to Tottenham, I think it's wrong to say he's not going to make it, or he's not going to be the real deal. It's not. There's an element of excitement when a young player that's been talked about so well, even more so with comments of Leo Messi and what he's had to say about him. That's not to say that he is indeed the next Suarez, like Leo Messi has labelled him, but there is an element of excitement of getting to know a player that we don't know. This guy it could flop. I'm not saying he can't, but I'm saying, but he can also succeed. And what if it turns out to be a real gem to join a club, somebody that we didn't know, and all of a sudden he hits the ground running, and it's like, he's playing in an excitement football. Obviously, it requires the defense to be sorted out, but it's like a new era beginning. There is an element of excitement in that. So I think we shouldn't be quick to write that off. That's what I'm saying, man.
I get that and everything, but if you see his numbers, like for me, you've got somebody like Harry Kane, the greatest striker this club has ever seen, the greatest player this club has ever seen, quite frankly. And then he's leaving, and you're going to replace him.
I don't know about greatest player. Greatest striker, maybe. Greatest player.
Greatest goal scorer. Greatest goal
There
scorer.
were some amazing players in the 60s and the 80s, man, at this club.
But
Some-
that's beside the point. Then you're gonna bring in some kid from South
No,
America.
that is the
He put
point,
up
Dan.
Average.
That is the point.
What?
No,
That is the point.
the greatest striker for
Get
sure,
what Dan's
greatest
saying.
The
player.
greatest striker in the club's history. Okay, Stell's just taking a piss at this point.
There's been some
What?
greats.
No, listen, I've got to call him out when he. I'm trying to help him.
All right, so we're gonna just sign some random Donny from South America. Like, I'm sorry, it's not good enough to
It's
replace
not
a player
random though,
like
man.
Tottenham.
His numbers
Look
are
at his
not
numbers.
bad,
His
man.
numbers are
They're not
average.
bad.
His numbers are average. To me.
He's
He
playing
played
for
like
an average
23
team.
games.
Rosario Central. He's not playing for Boca Juniors, River Plate, or any of those big boys. He's playing
Still.
for Rosario
People
Central.
say he
Rosario,
helped them
innit?
win.
For me,
People say that his goals won them the trophies this year.
It's
That's what people
it's
say.
Rosario, isn't it? Isn't that where
Yeah.
Pochettino? Is that where
Yeah.
Pochettino came from?
a lot of
Yeah,
people have seen
so-
his comps and they've seen like one or two good headers, and they think he's some like next generational striker. Like I don't see it, man. He's put up average numbers, average numbers. He's not William, by the way. He's just taking a piss. He always does that.
I
He's
think
just putting average numbers up. I don't-
though, if we are looking for Aleo Vélez to be a direct, if in our minds we're trying to sell this as Vélez to be a direct replacement for Kane, that is wrong.
That's
Vélez
not
is
the
a
picture, though, is it?
signing. The Vélez is a signing on its own. So you look at the player for what he is. He's a young Argentinian boy coming from the Argentina Premier League. He's been spoken well of. He has a lot of
Richarlison's a
potential.
replacement.
It's up to now. Yes, it's up to Ange Postecoglou. No, but that's a fact. It's up to Ange Postecoglou now to get this gem, this talent, and bring him to fruition. We work with him to try and let him become a future great. Hopefully, that's him on its own. But if you don't look to him as a direct replacement of Kane, he isn't. What will be a direct, and Stel just mentioned it, is Richarlison now is got to look at that situation thinking, this is the best chance. And I know you're smiling already because I mentioned Richarlison. But Richarlison, he's got to take the bull by the horns and say, this is my time now. I've got to go and replace what Kane, what Kane will be taken away. He's got to replace that hole. He's been waiting on the sidelines for the whole year now. He's been waiting for that opportunity. So he becomes our number 9. And Vélez will be his understudy. And he will look to crack. Do you see what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
how you got to look
listen.
at it. Don't look
I'm
one
someone.
placing for the other.
I'm somebody that has been memed for backing Richarlison. I backed this guy to the
Deservedly so.
extent of the moon.
Deservedly so, Dan. Deservedly
Oh
so.
man.
How's that worked out for you, mate?
So then
You
the
brought it
main
on
reason I
yourself.
even defended him was because we bought him as a backup striker. Like I'm like, all right, this guy, people were saying he's not good enough. I'm saying he's all right for a backup
Yeah,
striker.
but Dan,
He's
a lot of
actually very
fans
good.
said he wasn't a backup
Now,
striker. A
him
lot
being
of
a
fans
starter-
said a lot of fans said that Richarlison was bought to be the Kane replacement. I remember when we signed him, a lot of people said that.
Was I saying that?
Danny Kiriakou said that. I remember Danny Kiriakou said that.
The Kane
said we bought him
replacement.
to be
I don't
backup.
see it. What could we see
Well, if
in
it's about to
Richarlison
happen.
that resembles
Is
anything?
it? Yeah, but isn't that about to happen? No. I don't think people meant like for like. He's just as good. They're saying that one striker out, one striker in. I think that's what they meant by the Kane replacement. We know he's not Harry Kane. Obviously, we know that.
I don't know. I understand the fact that it'd be very hard to replace Harry Kane, especially in the state that we're right now. Like, who at the level of Harry Kane would want to come to our club? I understand that. But still, it's very underwhelming. And then if it is what you're saying that Vélez will come and be an understudy to Richarlison, I understand that a little bit more. Still would be disappointed, but I understand that a little bit more. But if Vélez is coming in to be a starter, that is a disgrace. Unless he proves himself.
Let me bring up something about the strikers.
But what's his name? What's his name? Did all right?
No, I
Didn't
think
he?
that was a super
Is
chat,
it,
Stel.
like Alvarez. Actually, I see. Like Cube said that. Like he's coming and done all right, isn't he? Alvarez.
Yeah, but his numbers were incredible. No, but his numbers were incredible in Argentina before. I had already said when Julian Alvarez was coming to Manchester City, everybody, like a lot of Argentinian people already knew about him.
wanted
There
Alvarez
was
a
a
year
game in South
before.
America. He scored 5 goals in one game. He scored 5 goals in one game in one time in South America. He's tearing it
I
apart.
said it.
This guy's
I
just
said it
playing
on
with average
Tottenham
numbers.
away. I said. I remember saying sign Alvarez.
And
Just a
buy
couple
him.
quick super chats. First of all, big up to the Spurs fan for becoming a channel member. Thank you so much. Tom81, Levy watching Tottenham away at the airport. You done know.
Good
And
old
Anthony
Daniel.
says, thank you for your super chat, Anthony. If Levy's willing to let his ego go, then the deal will happen. Our management at AC Milan sold Tonali to Newcastle, and that money helped fund our window.
True.
Listen,
Very true.
And that's what I meant.
Iggy said it
Yeah,
earlier. Like, that's good money for a guy 1 year left on his contract. If we sell Kane,
I think it's very good. Listen, he's right. Anthony's right. What he says about Tonali was sold for way more than what Milan got him for, and they've reinvested it. This is the difference, though, between
they're
the
reinvesting,
clubs.
innit?
The Milan got the money from Tonali and they reinvested it. They brought in, Musa, who's an American international. They brought in, God, I'm trying to remember all of them now. Loftus Cheek. They brought in Reinders from PSV. They've been reinvested into the team because what Milan are trying to do, they're trying to build a new stadium. Similar to all the things that Spurs are doing now. They're marketing really well. They've got a real media things going on. So it's really, really worked and bringing money in. But the one thing that they match with everything going on with the stadium and new stadium and everything else, they are not forgetting that football is the number one part of it. They're reinvesting in players. They're not forgetting to use that money to then go and get the players in. That's where the two clubs differ. We don't show that ambition. Stell's mentioned it at time. If we showed the same passion in building the actual team in the same way we build everything outside of White Hart Lane,
The hotel and the
everything around it.
cinema and
If we
blah
showed that
blah.
same ambition on the team, we'd be number one, guys. Honestly, we'd be number
if
one.
at the start of this window we signed Maddison, Laporte, Tapsoba, Raya from Fulham, and then
Mate,
maybe one
three
other
of those players would have been
exciting
out.
holding mid, at least then you're saying to Kane, we get it now. We get it. We're going to get it right now. But we didn't. We signed Solomon on a free, who looks okay.
Chance.
Let's be honest. Solomon does look okay. Madison, which we all agree is a good signing. This goalie who we're not sure about. But for me, I think what secretly has probably made Kane realise he's got to go is stuff like this. They've outclassed Poch, Mourinho, Conte, Walker, Toby, Eriksen, Jan Vertonghen, and now probably Harry Kane. Dyer, Davies, and Sanchez, man. How can Harry Kane look at Tottenham and
how
think,
is that even possible?
This is where I'm going to give you another 4 years.
Also, Eric Dyers is being considered as the next captain.
That's got to be some clickbait. That's got to be some clickbait.
I'm serious.
I was wearing an armband.
I had this conversation the other day, Iggy, right? Realistically, who else is there out of our whole squad apart from Son?
Realistically, Dyer would be on the bench.
You could give it to. Yeah, but who would you give it to then?
Højbjerg if he stays.
Yeah, he's after going to Atletico, right? Kane looks like he's at the door.
James Maddison.
Hugo's not going to be there anymore. He's only been in there 2 minutes, not even played a proper full 90 minutes yet, Maddison. But a lot of them are going to be like that, right? You got Udogie, obviously Dyer, Davis, Romero.
Rodon, Tanganga.
I'd give it to Romero. I'd give it to Romero over him. I'd give it to Romero. I literally give it to him.
He's a loose cannon, Dan.
When you think about it, you know Eric Dyer will get the captain's armband. You know it.
No.
Think about it well.
Eric Dyer shouldn't be on the pitch.
Think about
Eric Dyer should not be on the pitch.
I would love if Bentancur
Eric Dyer shouldn't be at Tottenham.
He'd be perfect for it.
That's true still, but if you look at it through the perspective of the starting 11, we're going to be playing with two centre-backs, Mickey van der Ven and Romero. He's on the bench. Like, you have to be started to be a captain.
I sold out on these players years ago. I get pelters on Twitter when I say things like, Dyer's a disaster, get him out of the club. Oh, he had a good season when we got top 4. You make him out to be the worst. He'll bounce back. I'm like, well, okay, that's why Harry Kane's
have you seen the Sanchez thing? Have you seen the Sanchez thing still?
The deal to Russia that collapsed.
No. Sanchez, he went to some museum or something, and there was this thing on the wall that said North London is red, and then he got a Tottenham jersey and put it over that. Everybody on Twitter is saying sign him on a lifelong contract. Everybody's like, oh, why did we boo him at White Hart Lane? Oh, he's actually not that bad. Oh,
We're so
Like, he takes
easily
one of those
pleased,
things.
man. We're
One
so
thing,
easily
he's
pleased,
I tell you,
honestly.
Like, all right,
we're
he might
just
be a good lad. He
we-
might be a good lad, but he's crap at playing football. So get rid of him.
I tell you, this is what happens. Like we were talking about this last Monday, right? You starve everyone for a long, long time. You give them a little crumb here and a little crumb there. How grateful are you people?
feels like a 3-course meal.
And you will love it. You will love it.
Well, look, I think Kane is 100% gone. And when you look at some of the stories, you know, we've made contact with Gift Orban, if you believe that. I mean, this would be an amazing signing. We just spoke about
Actually, the
Alejo
clips I've seen
Veliz,
of him, he looked alright, didn't he?
who we've actually signed. And also, before I
Orban.
came on, there was this was put out by I can't remember what page it was, but they said that we're in contact with Porto for striker Mehdi
6 million.
Taremi. Spurs are ready to offer 24p. 24 million euros could go up to 30
6
million.
million.
By the way, can I say something? He's not a bad player, this guy.
No, Porto
Mate,
are
I
asking
said it
for
earlier
30
on.
million.
He's not a bad player.
Someone asked me about him as well. Go and look at the numbers, guys. Go and look at his numbers, goals, appearances, goals for Porto. Not bad at all. I know people say, yeah, but he's 31. What, 31 old? If we buy them all young, they're all too young. We get a 30, 31-year-old. So what, man? He's ready now. We need to mix the
A
two.
little bit
We
of
need to mix the
experience in
youth
there,
with
don't
their
you?
experience. And this guy, man, his numbers, there you go. Look, someone's already written it. 31-year-old Iranian. What's wrong with that? I don't understand. It's 31 years old, too old. I don't get it. Must every player be 22, 23 years old? Mate, I don't understand the thinking behind
I think
this.
for the price, that's probably a bit steep. I would say 30 million euros.
Given the market right now. Given the market right now, man. That's
the market is crazy.
It's
The
come
market
on,
is
man.
crazy. But the fact that we're going for these strikers, why are we getting all these strikers if Kane's staying? This says to me he's leaving.
Nah, he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah, man. Of course,
we
are moving mad on all these
There's
strikers.
people that still think he's going to stay. There's fans that think Harry Kane is going to stay at Spurs.
I get
He's
it.
going to be
I
next
don't
season.
understand that. It's hard. Listen, it's
Yeah,
not
but I
easy
think
to accept.
that's heart and head,
It's
isn't
not
it?
easy
It's
to
heart and
accept that
head.
the best player, the best
You want-
striker, not the best player, the best striker that Spurs have ever had, the numbers say that, is about to
You
leave
want him to
Tottenham
stay,
Hotspur.
don't you? You want him to
way.
stay. Your heart wants him to stay, and you say anything to try and make it sound right in your head, right?
If he goes, man, that's gonna be so tragic, man.
Well, let's look at how good he
Kamara
actually is,
on his
because
way.
I'll pull up some factual goal scoring figures. In the Premier League, he's played 306 games and he's scored 210 goals. On average, he's between 25 to he's averaged about 25 goals a season, and he's been doing that since 2015. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seasons in a row. In the Champions
Who's that?
League,
Richarlison.
you wish. In the Champions League, which is the elite level of football in Europe, he's played 32 games, 21 goals. So he's pretty consistent. He scores 2 in every 3. Basically, that's his kind of goal record, and he did it again here, 2 in every 3. Every 3 games. If we look at the Europa Cup, he almost scored a goal per game, which is fantastic. Again, brilliant scoring record. In the EFL, it wasn't as good, but I think he probably didn't play as many games. This is where we rotated the squad more, but still 19 games, 6 goals. For England, 53 games, 49 goals. That is phenomenal. But I will caveat, top goal scorer for England, top goal scorer for Spurs.
Club and country.
What I will caveat, though, for England is he played a lot of mediocre teams, like San Marino's and teams like that, where he scored 3
Yeah,
4
but that's
goals.
what England play, right? That's who England play. Like you can't play Brazil, Argentina, and Germany every single time, right?
But that's my point, though. But this is why I think these stats are better, because every week he's playing a tough game. The Premier League is no joke, and Champions League is phenomenal. Look at that. Every 3 games he scores 2 goals in the elite level of football. See, they're more impressive to me. But I don't think we've realised this is an elite level goal scorer, guys. Like the best of the best.
And we fucked it up.
Yeah, pretty much.
As
We
we
have
usually
fucked it
do.
up. We have
How are we
fucked it
meant
up.
to replace this? That's my question. How are we meant to replace this?
He was the striker in the best ever attacking ranking Spurs team in Premier League history. In 30 years of Premier League football, Harry Kane was the striker for the best statistical ranking attacking
Whoa,
side.
whoa. Goals from set pieces? I don't think so.
Yeah, back then we did. But we had Toby, we had Jan, we had Ericsson. We had
my
the,
bad.
Corners
My
coming.
bad.
I read it wrong.
Not
I thought
free
it was,
kicks, right? Like,
I
not
thought it was
free-
him scoring the free kick. I thought it was him
free
scoring
kicks.
the
No, forget free kicks. Guys, we've got 500 people watching, which is phenomenal. Please smash a like,
Unbelievable.
give us the thumbs up.
Come
Also,
on,
get over
it's
to
it.
Dan THFC. He's trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. Please go and follow young man down there. And also my boy Robbie Lily White Lane. Make sure you follow Robbie, another young YouTuber. We want to get him up to 2,000 as well. So make sure Lily White Lane and Dan THFC show them some love and support. But you know what? When you look at those goal scoring records, is it any surprise that Bayern Munich are really now looking to come in and just say, look, what we want to get him before anyone else does? Bayern Munich know what they know exactly what they're doing, don't they?
Bayern? And take him then. That's all they need to do. Simple.
Well, Levy's twisting,
but
isn't
why
he?
Why are they pissing
There's
about?
nothing to be done anymore. The bid is 120. Just accept it at this point. Let it go. You're not going to get any more for a player on the last year of his contract. After this bid, we're not getting any more than that. We could wait till January and get another offer in January, but it won't be 120. I bet you that.
He is their Lewandowski replacement, isn't he? Kane is their Lewandowski replacement.
100%. I will argue the toss and say,
I'm gonna get Bayern Munich squad up.
From the start, we've probably said 100 million, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think we've budged. So they've always known the number that will come and get him. And if they want him that bad, it's that number they've got to hit.
They offered 100 million last time, though.
And if
they offered 100 million last time, it was 80 plus 20 in add-ons. So
but the add-ons are, from what I hear, not easily achievable. Shall we say? Right, so it's not like we're going to get that 120 million, which is why I think is probably the stalling black piece, right? Which is why I think Levy's saying, no, I want 100 million on the table, take your player. Well, which is strange because that's how when we go to buy people, that's how kind of like we're on the other side, right? No, we'll only give you 20 million.
Look at this squad. Kimmich, Alaba, Davies, Boateng, Stanisic, Lahm, Tell, Muller, Coman, Lewandowski. Hold on, this is wrong. Lewandowski's not there. 1 minute. I don't know what I brought up here. That does not make sense.
That's why you don't go to Google for players roster for a team's roster.
I just went to the quickest thing I could find then.
If you go on Real Madrid's roster in Google, it'll tell you Cristiano Ronaldo is still playing there.
Big up, Luca.
Here we go. Got it now.
I just wish it would have been any other club than Bayern. I actually hate Bayern Munich. It's actually insane.
Yeah, but Dan, isn't that good for us? Because that way he won't go to a Premier League club.
No, yeah, I get that, but I actually hate Bayern Munich so much.
Why? What have they done to you?
Not as much as Chelsea.
Their club has done, obviously not as much as Chelsea, but their CEO talking smack about our club, saying, "Oh yeah, he should definitely before before any bid was made, he was already saying that Harry Kane should be a Bayern Munich player." That reporter that pulled up to the Ange Postecoglou press conference with the Bayern Munich Kane top, I just hate the club.
All right, here we go. So Emmanuel Neuer in goal, Alphonso Davies, De Ligt.
Jan Sommer doesn't play for them anymore.
They've just signed. Sorry.
Jan Sonneman doesn't play for them anymore. The keeper.
Yeah, no, I didn't say him. I said Neuer. Neuer's the goalie. Right. Davies, De Ligt. They've just signed Kim Min Jae. They've got Pavard, Mazuri, Stanisic, Upamecano, who's probably, I think he's going to be putting his way out. They've got Arjun, Ibrahimovic, Kimmich, Tillman. Who else is it? Coman, Gnabry, Muller. Sane's on his way out. And then add Harry Kane. That's a really, really good football team.
Yeah.
This is a top side. Let's look at their bench. I can't tell the
Who
bench
can
because they
we?
mixed it with everyone.
Yeah,
Who
there's
can we
no
get
outside
This
from
is
one.
them?
this is well, Pavard's probably the one with. I don't think it's who we can get, JP. I think it's who's prepared to come to us, isn't it? Who at Bayern would want to come to Spurs?
No, why? That'd be suicide. Like, there's no reason to just throw your career in the bin.
So Dan, just imagine if you look at it as a Bayern Munich player coming to Spurs would be suicide. What does it mean if you're a player at Spurs and you stay then, like Harry Kane? It's even worse then, isn't it? So this is why he's
That's why
leaving.
he's trying to leave. He's been trying to leave.
But I think if he goes to Bayern, they're pretty much guaranteed the league title. So he'll get a Bundesliga. They might win a cup. They'll probably get to the semi or final, and you fancy them.
I think personally, I think
Champions
literally
League
just
is
buying you for the
the.
Champions League, isn't it? Yeah.
I think the Champions League is the one really that they're going to try and have their eyes on. And Kim Min Jae is a great signing. He just won the league at Napoli. We should have got him. Mourinho said another player.
We could have got him, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want to bid 5
Another
million.
one.
We don't want to bid 5 million. 5 million. We could have bid 5 million to have Kim and Jay. 5 million.
So it's always a difference. That's always the threshold.
Talking about defenders, actually, today it was announced
5/6 million, Dan. That's always a
Brilliant signing.
difference.
This is a brilliant
Nicky van
signing,
der
by the way.
Ven to Tottenham. Here we go. There's some mixed messages over the price, but
Is it?
look, I'll be honest with you. If you haven't seen my coaching tactical analysis that I did on this player, not tactical analysis, but my player analysis that I did today, go check out the analysis I did on Tottenham away. I'm not 100% convinced by Van der Ven. I'll be honest with you. My analysis breaks it down. What I did say, though, is at 21, the areas I'm concerned can be coached. So I remember Pochettino, what he did with Kyle Walker and Danny Rose. He took them who they were okay and really elevated them. So if Postecoglou and his coaching team can do the same, then Van der Ven could actually be a really good signing. I think we've paid over the odds, but like you guys have said tonight, it's a bit of a crazy market. Also, this report came out, which really disappointed me, which was that apparently Spurs have called their interest in Tapsoba, which if this is true, I'm gutted because I think although Van der Ven is a better football player, when I did the analysis, I compared Van der Ven to Tapsoba, and Tapsoba is actually a better defender. See, let me ask you guys this, right? In an ideal world, you sign Tapsoba and Van der Ven. Then you've got a nice complement of defenders with Romero. When I did the analysis, what I kind of understood was that Tapsoba is better suited playing with Romero than Van der Ven. In a Postecoglou system, Van der Ven is better suited than Tapsoba. But in terms of fixing the defense, just the defense, Tapsoba is better than Van der Ven. So you win here, you lose there, you win. So the only solution is buy them all, and then you've covered every base, right? So if we don't get Tapsoba, do you think that is a big? Do you think we're kicking ourselves in the foot if we don't sign him?
It does shoot ourselves, and it opens up to another gap, right? Because even if one of them gets injured, it's just there's like a hole again, right? And then everyone moans. So it makes sense. You know the season we had last year. You know the number of goals we conceded last year. One of the things year on year you always want to improve on all areas of your squad, of your team, right? More points, score more goals, let in less goals. That's got to be one thing that they have to concentrate on fixing. And only just going out and getting one doesn't really fix it properly, does it?
Do you know what the issue is, JP? Right. So this comes down to philosophy. So the mindset of a Pep Guardiola is: if we've got the ball, you can't score. If we've got the ball, only we can score. So if we just keep possession, that is a form of defending because you're protecting the ball. Okay. So in that sense, if you sign a Van der Ven whose possession stats, progressive play, driving with the ball, one-on-one beating a play, as in he almost plays like a number 6.
But we haven't got the whole team for that, though, have we?
No, we don't. But if that's going to be your philosophy, that's the kind of player you want. But having said that, we then go to what you've said. But if you haven't got the team for that, then what? And that's when you need a Tapsoba, because we saw in pre-season what happens. 80% possession, 30 chances created. The other team gets 4 chances, scores 3, and you lose. And it's if only we just had someone that could defend. This is why when I did my analysis, I was torn. I was split. I said, I don't know about this guy. And we need both. The solution is we need both. I think if we just get Van de Ven, he's going to get exposed.
No, yeah. Well, I don't think personally. I think he's a good defender, but I think
we should be doubling
we should
down
just
and
get
getting a
Tapsoba. Yeah. We should, because as JP said, this is what the main reason why I think if one of them gets injured, we're right back to the. And I think if they're starting 11, I would start Tapsoba and Romero. That'd be my starting 2. So the whole report that Tottenham did an evaluation and they have Mickey Van de Ven over Tapsoba in quality, there's no like Tapsoba's miles better than Mickey Van de Ven. Let's not lie to ourselves.
Dan, he's not.
I think it will happen.
Dan, he's not. I was surprised. When I did my analysis today. What I found was on the ball as a player, Van de Ven is better. So if you want someone to keep possession and keep the ball moving, Van de Ven. But if you want someone that's more active as a defender in our third, Tapsoba's better. So it comes down to what do you want from the player? What's the key attribute you want the player to do? So, for example, if I said to you, what's the most important thing you want your goalie to be good at? Shot stopping or distribution? Which one's more important to you? It's the same with Van de Ven and Tapsoba. What's more important? Do you want someone that can play a Postecoglou system possession-based, or do you want someone that can actually defend when a defender's called upon? And there's a difference between them. So I don't know what the answer is, because pre-season we look dynamite, but we one attack and we can see the goal. So what do you do?
I hear you, but for a centre back, for a defender, I think most managers would want their defender to be able to defend, right?
Not Pep. He just wants 11 midfielders. Pep wants 11 midfielders, and they won the treble.
So, but they are people. But they are players who know how to keep the ball and pass it to their own players, right?
Like I don't even think Tapsoba's terrible on the ball. Like he can play on the ball. You just say Mickey Van de Ven is better. I get that, but at the same time, if you want to buy a defender, the main worry for you is, can he defend? Is he good at defending? For me, if I have two,
Dan. By the way, sorry, I'm not going to interrupt you again, Dan. By the way, I won't interrupt you again. I promise. I actually agree with you. By the way, I agree with you on this. I'm just playing devil's advocate because that's the situation that I found when I did my analysis. Crack on. Sorry, man.
Yeah, like that whole thing about. I understand that you want to have somebody that could progress from the back, especially with keepers nowadays. But this whole narrative that they could be crap at goalkeeping, but if they play out of the back nicely, it's fine. No, if you buy a kitchen table, you want it to be able to work as a table. If it has a portable charging system on top of it, that's fine, an add-on. But you want it to be a table. You bought a table. That's what you want. If you bought a defender, it's so it can be good.
Yeah, but Dan, sorry. Do you want the table to eat off of, or do you want the table to work off of? Now it's different.
No, it's not. It's two different comparisons.
Well, it's not, because a table, if you're going to eat off of it, you want it to hold 6 people. Whereas if it's a table for you to work off, you want it to be a different height. Maybe it's got to hold a computer. There's got to be like drawers in it to put your pens and pencils. So this is why I said, what do you want the player to do? Do you understand what I'm saying with that? There's different types of tables, isn't there? Dinner table, working table. There's a little side table that you put your lamp on. What do you need the table for?
I think
to hold
I
things.
think it should be defending.
To hold things.
For as long as I've watched football, and I've watched for many years, if we are talking about getting a defender in, first and foremost, the defender has to defend. Listen, it has to defend.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Goalkeepers,
that's the number one priority above all else.
Right?
Is to help keep a clean sheet, or as concede as least amount of possible goals we can.
Then Van de Ven is not a £50 million player.
63 goals
were
conceded last season, guys. 63. We got a new goalkeeper now. We still haven't worked out who's going to be the number 6 in the holding midfield, and our 2 centre backs have not been playing together whatsoever. Without that 1, 2, 3, and 4 in front, without those 4 players who are ultimately going to work as a unit to not concede. If we look at the fullbacks, to be very attacking fullbacks, those four in the middle, two centre backs, the holding midfield, and the goalkeeper are going to be pivotal for the way that we play going forward, because they will have to hold the fort in defending. And if we don't get that right and get that together straight away, everything else is gonna drop like a pack of cards.
Okay, Iggy,
know?
in that case, then we should have spent the money on Tapsoba. End of.
Fine.
Of.
But for me,
So-
we should get
so-
them
so-
both. We should get them
I
both.
agree. I agree.
Get them both,
Still,
man.
Still,
You want to
really quick
improve?
question
You want
for
to
you.
improve in the defensive area? Get them both. Then you've got three quality centre backs.
I know he's
I
21.
did start.
Which is why I said that he can be coached. His age works for him. He can be coached. But when you spend
Of course you
50
can.
million pounds, you want someone that's the finished product. You don't buy someone for 50 million to then develop. Look at
Well, we're
how much
talking
Man City-
about 34 mil, man.
But the
Everyone's-
50 million to
I don't know
add-ons,
where the 50
what
million
Iggy's saying.
comes from. Like I was before earlier. I was looking at
That's the
Sky
game
That's
Sports
what
price
it-
News.
now,
that's what it-
anyway.
That's what it
They're
said.
talking on Sky Sports
50
News.
million package. Oh, add-ons
Package,
included.
yeah,
Fair enough.
package.
Okay, fair enough. Fair
On
enough.
Sky Sports News, it's like
I'll take it
34
back.
million pounds that we're looking at
Mm.
to spend. Regards to the Harry Kane, it looks like it's going to happen this weekend, guys. I don't think it's going to go on for much longer. I know we was looking at news tonight, but it looks like it's going to happen over the weekend. And I think maybe leaving, going to another country is probably him just getting out of keeping out of harm's way. But I think that looks like it's going to go ahead, to be quite honest with you. And that's why we've been linked with so many
Yeah.
strikers, because as soon as that
To be,
happens,
to
we'll
be,
someone
guys,
else.
to be honest with you, if you properly analyse Wolfsburg, the player we should have bought is Lacroix. He's the best defender. He's
really good.
That's their
actually
other
really,
defender,
really
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so I look
But
at that and I
that's
think,
but that's
why don't you go
but
for
that'll
him?
be more expensive, right?
You get what
Way
you
more
pay for.
expensive.
Do you want
We
to
tried to
Rolls
go
Royce
for
or
him
do you
before
want
and we
an Uber?
Give me something that runs, man. Just give me something that runs. I need to go
Look,
from A to B. Start a season to the end
people-
of the season.
But the problem is that
Still. I want to ask you a question. Sorry, Dan, really quickly.
Yeah,
I did
no,
start
go on.
watching your analysis this morning, but I was in meetings and stuff, so I haven't finished it yet. But they finished 8th last year, right?
Yeah.
How many goals did they concede?
I don't know. I'll tell
Can you
you now.
remember off the top of your head? No? No, it's all right. I was just wondering, because we obviously know we conceded, 60 odd, right?
63.
Can someone check? Dan, you're the
Shouldn't-
stats. You're the stats wizard.
Kind of like, shouldn't be that bad.
I'm a stats wizard. All right, I'll take that title.
Realistically, shouldn't be that
I
bad.
never
right?
look at stats, but I'll take the title.
Just don't tell Will. I called you that. Yeah, look. What I noticed with. Okay, so these are the things I found out about Van. What I did was I watched him. I watched him play some games, and then I'd look at the stats. And what I do is with a defender, guys. So people didn't watch the analysis.
He seems to be right position-wise, right?
I look at what you should look for in a defender: their pressing ability, emergency defending, delay, deny, and dictate, three forms of defending, and then how they then transition into an attack. I'll put up there. You might sit there so we can talk. So I base it on these factors. I then, once I've analysed the player based on the principles of play of a defender, I then align it to how we're going to play and say, does this work into the system? And then I do a comparison with another player. So I looked at Van de Ven, I looked at his defensive attributes, I looked at him in a Postecoglou system, and then I compared him to Tapsoba. And what I found, some of the stuff surprised me. Some of it I was impressed by. Other bits I've got concerns, which is why I said I'm not 100% sure about Van de Ven. Now, a lot of people struggle to be critical of anything Tottenham does or question some of the things Spurs do. I'm just saying, if everyone thinks this boy's going to come to Spurs and suddenly, boom, no, not from what I've analysed. Having said that, though, because of his age, if we're going to rebuild, we could mould him into a Vertonghen over the years. I do believe that is possible. So I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying there's work to be done there. That's all. Yes, Dan. Sorry, mate.
Still, by the way, Wolfsburg conceded 48 goals last season.
So far less than Spurs, but they finished just the same as us in 8th. So
Yeah.
But they
I
had
guess
less
they
games
didn't
as well.
score.
They had less games as well.
Well, that's why. How many goals did they score? Maybe they didn't score enough goals because we scored quite a lot of goals. We still scored goals. We were the 5th highest goal scorers, I think. Spurs.
57. I'll tell you now. 57 scored, 48 conceded. So that's
And
it. 9
played.
goal difference of 9. They
Okay, so they
played
scored
34
less
matches.
and played less. All right. Well,
Not too
okay.
much
In those 4
difference
games,
there,
would
is
they
it?
have
It's like,
skied? Would they have conceded another 14 goals in 4 games? Probably not. So look, defensively, they sound better. But we're playing Liverpool's, Chelsea's, Man United's, Man City's, Arsenal's, Brighton's on fire, Aston Villa, Newcastle. It's harder here.
it's the
Listen,
toughest league, man. It's the toughest league. At the end of the day, I feel.
a defense conceding goals has got nothing to do with just one player. It's a unit. It's the holding mid. It's the wing backs.
Yeah.
It's the team. It's the strikers pressing up top. Are they doing their job? The goalkeeper, the centre backs. I think at Spurs, our problem is that no one in the back 4 can defend. Like nobody can defend other than Romero, and he's a lunatic. We've said it 100 times.
Yeah. Other than Romero, it'd be funny, but I'd honestly say Emerson. Like in terms of being able to defend in the back 4.
He got better as the season went on. JP, do you need to go?
Chaps, I'm gonna do one because I'm feeling.
Mate, you go rest up and get well soon.
That's
I
a
need some
lovely,
cough
weird way to.
I need some cough medicine or something like that. So I'm kind of flagging a bit. So, enjoy. I'll probably catch you guys back on Sunday. At some point, if I'm feeling better, I'll be at the ground. If not, then like we're doing a watch along, right? Ciao. See you, Dan. See you, Iggy. See you
later.
everyone.
Take care.
Bye
now.
See ya. Bye.
Yeah, Sarah, this thing about him having pace, you're right. He's got a lot of pace. But here's the thing, in a linear fashion, meaning if he's running in a straight line, he's frightening. Like his pace for his height is actually, it's almost like Usain Bolt. But if he's got to change direction, it changes. He comes unstuck. And then what happens is he gets himself into a situation where this part here of defending, the bottom corner, emergency defending, so last ditch tackles, he goes in too early. And he overstretches, and then problems happen. So this thing about pace hasn't properly been looked at. I looked at it. I tell you where his pace is amazing, and this is why a lot of people, when I did the analysis, were saying, "Well, Stel, do you think he might be a number 6?" When he's on the ball going forward, do you know how good this guy is? Like on the ball going forward, he is so good. He beats a player with ease. He shifts the ball from the right foot onto the left foot and beats the man. So technically can work off both feet. And he's got a strong frame. So someone that can travel with the ball, get past a player or two and get to the final third. He's a really, really good player. Like really, really good. But again, I'll go back to what I was saying to you and Iggy. Is that a defender for you? Because to me, he actually plays more like a midfielder. And he's really good at it. I don't know what to make of him. It's going to be fascinating watching him at Spurs.
I mean, he's been playing centre back all his life.
He also plays a bit too narrow for me. And he doesn't. You know, on the halfway line, sometimes you've got to go to the ball and stop them. He doesn't do that. He backs off. He's got a bit of dire in him, and that's why he has to run back. He does back off. I'm telling you what I saw. I'm telling you what I analysed.
But that can be. Ange can change certain aspects of his play.
Oh no,
he can
absolutely coached.
Improve that. It can be coached. So it's not like, I mean, that's what we know, and that's what you've spoken. I've been listening to what you're saying, and you've spoken on quite a few bits that, you know, coming out of defence with the ball, he's quick.
Brilliant.
He's good at I heard your analysis as well earlier. He's good at holding a player, waiting for the other players to recover behind him. So he's good at delaying. Yeah, that's the word.
Stall, same thing.
So you know, for already at 21 years old, he can do quite a lot. Sure, he's not the finished article, but he's in a good road. Is what I'm trying to say. He's in a good, you know, route to becoming a really good player. I don't want the finished article at 21 years old. Who is the finished article at 21 years old? You want to see the really good things. At 21, nobody's finished.
At 21, when we signed him, I think he was the
at 21 years old. Dan,
the best centre back in Serie A.
What you do want to see though, a player that you think, you know what, this kid could be with a little bit more guidance and a little bit more added to his locker, this kid now can become a real player in 2 or 3 years, probably one of the world's best. Who knows? He could even become the next Jan Vertonghen, if you like. But he has to do a lot as well. So, but things can happen in that place. And another thing I like the sound of straight away is the fact that he can get the ball at the back and come out of defence and play the ball.
Yeah.
Something that we don't have in our team. Nobody is comfortable in our defence to play with the ball. And you know what? Modern day football, including the goalkeeper as well, which is another area that we've been weak at. A goalkeeper cannot play; he has to be able to play with the ball now. Vicario has been spoken of really well. Yes, he showed a nervy start in his Spurs games, but that's fine. The sooner he gets acclimatized to the situation that he's in, the sooner he strikes a relationship with his two defenders, the better. And at the moment, if you look at it from a goalkeeper, try to put yourself in his shoes. With the exception of Romero, who has he got to really link with? He's got to know his two centre backs. The quicker that
Yeah.
happens, the better.
I mean, let's be real though. That was not the issue. The people that he had available was not the issue. Because if you can't find the pass, I get that they're like headless chickens, these defenders, but you have to take it to the fact that the team that he played was the Lion City Sailors. If you can't find a ball through the Lion City Sailors, that's a problem. I don't think that had to do anything about our defenders. But I will give him time. That I will do. I will give him time. And I'm not saying anything about it now. I'm waiting for the season to start to make my judgment. But I don't know. That was worrying.
I think the one really good quality about Van de Ven is his ability to beat a man. He beating a man is one thing. Attempting to do it is another. He actually attempts it regularly. He looks to take you on. He's Dutch players they're coached differently, and when it's done right, they're some of the best. Do you remember Steven Bergwijn? As much as people had a pop at him for his finishing, how many times did he take on a player? Like, he actually had skills. Van de Ven's like that. He's got that in him. He can just beat a man. And other than Heung-min Son and sometimes Kulusevski, I don't know who else can do that in our squad. I don't know who else regularly does it. Whereas Van de Ven can, and I think that's a great quality to have. Quick super chat from Avishek. We might see Veliz and Van de Ven against Barca. Excited.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Barca's when's that game? That's on Tuesday.
Midweek. I think it's Tuesday. I think
maybe.
I wouldn't even think maybe Veliz, but I don't think we'd even see Van de Ven by Brentford. I think
I don't see neither of them playing. I don't see neither of them playing.
Can I ask you two guys a
question?
question?
See Van de Ven by Brentford.
Do you think we need another number 6? Because Bissouma and Pape Sarr, they go to the African Nations Cup in January, meaning that the only player we will have, assuming we sell Højbjerg, will be Skip. That's it.
That would definitely be a worry. I don't know. I don't know why we don't get international break for why the players don't get an international break for that tournament.
We should have hopefully Bentancur back by then.
He's not number 6 though. He's not number 6.
I agree. I listen. I do think we need something else in that midfield. I just don't know if we could have enough time to do it. Not as in enough time. There's plenty of time between now and the 31st, but I just don't know if we're gonna. If we do get the 1/2 centre backs and the striker, I don't think we're gonna have enough to. I don't think we're gonna get him this time around in the summer. It may be a case of going in January and getting that player. I think we do, but we've got Skip. Let's not forget Skip is in there as well. Could he do a job there? Yes. Is he the best number 6 there is? No. I do think we require something else and someone else. I just don't know if we're going to do the business in this summer. That's my feeling.
Well, we've got a very bloated squad as well, haven't we?
Yeah, and no one. No, the thing is, what's actually quite worrying is the fact that Longley did what exactly? Longley did take on players, take on strikers.
No, I don't think he did. Solomon checkmate said Solomon can. You're right. Solomon can.
Solomon's good at taking players, and I think Porro can do it as well.
I don't
Obviously-
think Longley would take players on, but he did have a ball on him. But he just wouldn't
I
take
think
players
Porro
on.
can do it. I think Porro can do it too. And do you know what?
Listen, the one thing I will say about Van de Ven, for me, he's better than Sanchez, Rodon, Dyer, and Davies. So even if he doesn't,
he's an improvement on what we got.
Yeah, he is
Bro,
100%.
But you could put a Cone there and he'd do a better job than them three. But let's be real.
But why can't
Just
you
put
play
4 traffic codes.
and Ndombele in
Yeah,
the six?
honestly, I would back them to do a better job than Davinson Sanchez, Eric Dyer. At least they won't back off 50 meters.
Someone in the chat is
Iggy.
asking why can't you play Ndombele in the six? I mean, I would
We're not allowed to mention Ndombele when Iggy's on the show. Okay, that's a rule. If Iggy's here, don't mention his name.
play him
Iggy,
as number 6.
Iggy, what do you think about this? Because you're the Italian expert. Per Scherp from Torino. That's a no. Straight. That's a straight no. As soon as you go,
That's no. I think we need something different. Not for me. Not for me. But that's just my personal taste. I'm not knocking the player. I think he's a good player, but I just don't think. I think we require something different.
Dan, are there any defenders you've seen from doing your shows or you've looked up on that you would like to see come to Spurs, other than Van de Ven and Tapsoba?
Well, if I would love to see them come to Spurs, it's a different story. That if they probably make it be realistic. I don't really think I could just name a centre back right now and be like they should come to Spurs because it'd be unrealistic. If I could, Bastoni would be here last year. So
Well, forget that. That's
exactly.
Right.
So I could
By
really
the way,
only say
listen.
the
I
ones
just
that
want
were
to.
in.
I'm not knocking Schurz, by the way. I want to be clear about that. I'm not knocking the player. I think he's a good player. I just think we require somebody else, a specific type of player, to play alongside Romero, in my opinion. So I just want to make that. I want that to come across very clear.
I think Tapsoba actually, for me, it makes so much sense to play him next to Romero. It really does. Tapsoba would be a good signing. If we don't get him, I'll be gutted now. I'll be honest with you. If we don't get Tapsoba, I'll be gutted. If we get Tapsoba and Van de Ven, I can actually begin to have some confidence with the defense.
Yeah,
I really can.
If you told me those were going to be the only 2 signings before the end of the market, I'd be like, you know what, take that, because we've already like 3 players that would make with Maddison, 3 players that would make an absolute impact in the first team. Because obviously one of those 2 guys there, Van der Ven and Tapsoba, one of them can play left back as well. So it would be good. It would be good to have both those guys in. Someone is number 6 is Ganduzi. I haven't
Is that the
watched him too
ex-Arsenal
much.
player?
Yeah, big mop hair.
Didn't he flop at Arsenal?
He flopped at Arsenal, but he's been doing well in the French league. So
The French league is a bit. Ndombele was good in the French league. But
I genuinely think Ndombele is a good player. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I think he's a good player.
we're not allowed to mention his name on this show. I don't know why I mentioned it. Listen, I like Ndombele, Dan. I'm with you, but Iggy will he'll switch from his calm, relaxed state. He'll start.
No, listen. Do you know what? The fact. All I've got to say to you guys is very simply on him. Pochettino. Under Pochettino, no starter. Jose.
You started under Pochettino.
Conte. Stop. Now Ange Postecoglou. You think everyone was going, yeah, Ange likes him. And before you know it, he's in a transfer market ready to go. Why?
He's injured right now.
Yeah, but he's not. He's Ange Postecoglou. He's been deemed as one of the players that is welcome to leave. So if this guy is so good, either the 4 or 5 managers that I've just mentioned ain't got a clue about football, or this guy doesn't cut the mustard, mate. It's as simple as that.
Well, I think it is.
You gotta say there's got to be something about him that these managers do not see. I see it. I see it.
Pochettino. I think you would have worked on the Pochettino, but we all know what happened on the Pochettino.
Is that why I kept bringing him off?
He was
Is
breaking
that
into
why I
his what?
took him off at half time against Burnley? Is that why he only ever played 55, 60 minutes? At Napoli last season, did you follow him? He never started. He only started. And when he did, he came off on the hour every single time. Or he'd play the last 15 minutes of the game. He didn't start a lot of games at Napoli. And when he did, he played 15 minutes, tops, cameo appearances. He
I'm
won
not
the
saying to
league, but
keep him
look
at
at
the
how he
club.
won that league.
I'm not saying to keep him at the club. I'm saying I think he's one of those players that have been completely like put in the mix because of that whole manager situation that we got. He
But
came into
it
a
doesn't cut
Pochettino
the
Tottenham.
mustard.
He came into a Pochettino Tottenham, an attacking minded football club. That's what he came into. He left
Yeah.
with Conte, Jose Mourinho.
Why is he then been linked to a move away from Spurs, even under Ange Postecoglou, an attacking and minded manager?
Because Ange
Guys,
Postecoglou also really does. This is something that Ange Postecoglou values a lot is work ethic, and that's something that Tanguy and Nobele definitely does not have.
bye bye.
Not gone yet as of 12:30 a.m. Harry
He's
Kane.
he's not what we need, Dan. Dan, he may be a great player in
Iggy, I
another
agree with
team.
you.
He's not
I
what
agree
we
with you.
require here.
No, I
Who
agree with
wins
you.
Serie A? I don't know. Napoli. Now this season, I don't know. It's open this season. Serie A. Napoli wiped the floor last season, but I think with Kim Jae going and his looked at their best players have been sought after. Osimhen. If they lose Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia, I don't know. It's
Kvaratskhelia is
difficult.
not leaving.
Very,
Kvaratskhelia
difficult.
himself came out and said, "I hate being linked to other clubs." He himself said that.
Who's that?
Kvaratskhelia came out and
Kvaratskhelia.
said that he hates being linked to other clubs. This is the funny part because he was mainly talking about Arsenal because he was linked to Arsenal. He's like, I hate seeing myself linked to other clubs, and that's when the meme came out of like him saying, "I hate being linked to Arsenal."
Sorry, guys, I'm just eating some cherries. What do you make of this, by the way? I thought this was quite cool.
Oh yeah,
Number
this is
8,
right,
Basuma.
bro. Yeah, it fits. It fits. I don't know why it's fitting.
He is a number 8.
He was going to be
man.
number 8 last season. He wanted the number 8 before Winks was recalled, wasn't he? So once Winks came back, he didn't have the opportunity to get the number. But now that Winks is permanently gone, he wears the number that he wore at Brighton. To answer Cube's question, I'm loving it. Loving the American Revolution for AC Milan. Got two American internationals playing Pulisic and
Okay,
Musa. I'm happy with it. Happy with
I
what's going
understand.
there. They're showing great
I
ambition on and
understand.
off the field.
Yeah, I understand. C is American, but like she doesn't have to like be patriotic
Unlike
in
you,
every single
Dan.
comment. She doesn't
Unlike
have
you.
to be every single
No,
comment.
I saw her comment previously. I was going to answer it, and then I got obviously we got engaged in the conversation talking about Spurs, and I've now re-seen it again. I remembered I didn't answer the first time around. I'm loving what they're doing. It's very, very strategic. They're buying good players, but also very close linked to there's a marketing part of it being done because obviously the owners of Milan are American. So at the moment they're toured in America. There's a great work being done to generate money for the club. I get that, but it's not just that, is it? It's also very much football focused and ambition. And this is the kind of thing I want to see at Spurs. If they could just mirror a club, look, they've done that in a short space of time, man. Milan were nowhere 4 or 5 years ago. In 4 or 5 years, guys, you look at where Milan were 4 or 5 years ago, in such a short space of time, they have really made huge difference. They've won a Serie A in the process. You know, there's good things going on, and all of a sudden, the rise of the club and the value of the players. They're buying young, cheap players, and then they're selling them on to. They're doing a really great work in such a short space of time, and it's just a shame that we can't go and buy 80, 90 million pound worth of players. Why don't we do a similar sort of project? We don't have to like invent anything. We just have to go and look at a project that we like. Let's just say Milan in this case, or any other club. We say we like that project. Copy and paste it, man. That's all you got to do. I like it. How do you do it? How did you guys get to do this? Copy, paste, and put it into your. 4 or 5 years. Look where we can be. Look what we've done. 4 or 5
I
years.
don't, I don't,
2019.
I don't think that can happen at Spurs whilst Daniel Levy is the chairman, because the turnover of staff in key roles, coaches, heads of
It's
recruitment,
ridiculous.
scouts,
It's ridiculous.
managers. We've just lost Chris Powell, who's the under 17 to under 21 head coach. So we don't keep people in the club in key roles to embed the project and to see it through to the end. We hit the panic button, or we just basically just make people feel like they want to leave the club. So the culture within the club is not right. The infrastructure is right, but the culture is wrong. The culture is, it doesn't feel football. It feels leisure, entertainment, corporate. And I think, you know, that's the issue we've got. By the way, London Bro, you put in a super chat for $20. Thank you so much. But you didn't put a message. So if you just type a message in the comments, I'll bring it up for you. Unless that was just a donation. But thank you anyway. Iggy, you're right. Because, you know, the thing is, you know, clubs are allowed to visit other clubs and observe and get ideas. We could go and look at what other clubs do, like an Ajax, for example. We could go and look at what a successful we could go and spend time and understand from Brighton what they've done.
It's a relations thing. You can build relations with other clubs.
To be fair, we're using the data thing now. We're recruiting with the data thing now, to be fair to the club.
Yeah, I don't know if we are though, Dan, if I'm honest with you, because you need to employ people to do that, have we? We haven't employed anyone.
No, you have to employ a system. It's a system that you look at that tells you the stats.
Yeah, but you need people to use the system and understand it. You need to train people up.
Our recruitment team. Our recruitment team is using the system now.
Yeah, but they've all just been replenished. They're all getting changed again. This is what I mean. There's no. What I find with Spurs, Dan, look, you tell me what you think. What I find with Spurs is we say these things that people jump on. Oh yeah, data analysis, or oh yeah, we're going to use the Liverpool method. But does it ever actually get done? Do we ever actually go and do that? I think
some of the signings we've made. I think Vicario was a signing off of data. Although our number one option from the data.
Or was it because we didn't pay for Raya and Paratici's Italian and he knows the Italian market, and we got
David Raya. Paratici's in jail.
He's not.
No, he's not. He's working at Spurs, Dan.
He's got a minor role. He cannot operate in all dealings, but he is still at Spurs.
He's acting as a consultant.
Yeah, because he can't actually do a hands-on.
I think we signed Vicario because Paratici's at Spurs. For me, that's what's happened. Arsenal,
guys, Vicario's good goalie.
I personally believe
he's a good goalkeeper. I just think he needs time to bed in, and I truly believe this, guys. He needs to get to know his back four. And if you ask me right now, let me ask you guys, who's Spurs' back four, man? Who's Spurs' back four right now?
Well, I'd say
Romero. After that,
Romero.
Izzy though. Izzy Spurs' back four right now. Udoji. Who's Spurs' back four?
Well, you saying Reguilon? You saying Reguilon starts?
Right now, I say Romero is his back four. Yeah, but you can argue. It could be Reguilon. It could be Udoji. It could be Royale. It could be Porro. There's no definitive player that's claimed that spot. Other than Romero.
Isn't that a good thing? Isn't that a good thing? I want that, Master.
No,
I want you to be like
defense. I'm sorry. No, man. We should have that. We should have the defense on lock, mate. We should have had that sorted out straight away. I do agree, man.
If you're locked in to start, if you're locked in to start, that means you get comfortable. And if you get comfortable, then you start getting
not in defense, mate. Not in defense.
In the whole team. In the whole team. Every single position.
No. In defense.
Keeper, striker, defender, midfielder, every position. I want there to be competition. If Reguilon is fighting for Udoji's position, then that's going to make Reguilon better and Udoji better. If Romero is fighting and Mickey Van de Ven is fighting, they've got nobody behind them. That's why I think Romero.
I agree with the competition, but your back four, you can't.
Spence and Emerson make each other better, or were they all just rubbish?
There was a point where in that first Conte season where it actually did.
Dan, a point.
Yeah.
You want them chomping at the bit. Look, I do see Dan's point about competition, but I also see Iggy's point because our defense has been so destabilized.
Shambles.
Do we just want to fix it and then create competition further down the line, or do we want competition now? Maybe it's more logical just to fix the defense right now because we can't concede 63 goals again like we did last year. Because
All right, so let's look at the defense then. Let's look at the defense then. So
yeah,
we have our wing backs, right? We have Udoji, which I think he's a good player.
Do you think he's a good defender though?
It's left to be seen, but in general, I think he's a good footballer. If he's good defending, we have to remember we signed him under Antonio Conte, which was a back three that he was planning to be played as an attacking wing back. Now we've moved back.
So that's why I ask you: is he a good defender? Because he looks good going forward defensively.
I think he's a decent defender, but he's much better attacking wise. But then you have him, which I think he could be in the starting 11, and I'd be fine with that. And then you have Reguilon behind him, which you're saying that he's close to him. I think if Reguilon is not a bad footballer either. If Reguilon was a bad footballer, every Tottenham fan, well, I understand that there's some.
And again, is he good at defending, or is he another one good going forward?
I think Reguilon was decent at defending.
Do you know what the fun?
That's why he built the left wing back.
Reggie, I like Reggie. I like Reggie.
No, as a defender, is he good? I don't think
he's better than Udoji at defending. I think
Udoji is a little bit. Reguilon's got no physical attributes to have the strength for Premier League defending, in my opinion. He got bullied against West Ham. The guy flicked him and he fell over.
But listen, I out of the two right now, probably Reggie is probably more ready for me because he's already played in the Premier League before. But ain't it irony though, guys, that when we were playing with wing backs, we was doing it with full backs in those positions. Now that we've got the wing backs, we're going to a back four.
That's the problem with not being able to stick to a system. That's the problem with not being able to stick with the system.
That's the irony of it, man. We've got the wing backs now. So we decided now we're going to play with a back four. But to me, Dan, I don't disagree with what you're saying about the competition part of it. I think you're right. It is good for the team. It's healthy to have competition for places. I just think right now with a back four, given that the kind of season that we had last year, I think this is the kind of thing, you know what, this is going to be my back four. And for the first few weeks, months, I want to keep that back four to really gel it together with a new goalkeeper. You want to gel that back four. And then obviously in due course, you can start make a change up right back, bring someone else to freshen things up. Do those changes slowly once there's an understanding at the back. And at the moment, we're non closer. We are 1 week away from my first league game. And who the hell is our back four? Where do I, as a goalkeeper, get my assurances from? Look at my back four, and I couldn't tell you who's playing on the right, who's playing on the left, who's playing in the middle, other than Romero. I can be assured right now that Romero will start first game of the season. Outside, if you're Romero right now, who's my centre back partner? Who is it? Who's going to be playing to my? Who's going to be playing to my right? My right back. I need to know. Is he going to be close to me, or is he going to be one that bombs forward? Who's going to be playing on the left hand side? So there's too many unanswered questions for me with one game to go before the season starts. That, for me, when I look at it, it's worrying, man. I'm not saying it's impossible to get it sorted out, but right now, we're so close to a first league game of the season, to not have that sorted out, for me, it's a worrying sign. Even more so, given that our team are more forward-thinking minded now. We're looking to go and take teams on and attack teams high up the pitch. To not have that on lock, to allow those players to go and do what we love to see, attack, is worrying, man. I can't feel comfortable with that.
Sorry, Abhishek. Arsenal have Zinchenko, one of the worst defenders in the league. He's not one of the worst defenders in the league.
No,
he was at Man City when they won trophies, so I don't know how you can say that. Look at Arsenal; it's all about the whole 11, not just one player. I agree, but I don't think Zinchenko is one of the worst defenders in the league. And for me, as soon as Zinchenko kept playing instead of Tierney, that was part of the reason they didn't win the league last year. So there's a couple of questions I just wanted to jump on really quickly. Where was it? There's a couple here. Have you ever tried coaching at Tottenham? Get on the inside. I get to go there anyway and observe and learn what goes on in there. Some of the things they do, I agree with. Some things I don't agree with. One thing I won't agree with is when fans slag off the academy and say it's not good enough. When I know the problem isn't the academy, it's the owner, Levy, not allowing the academy and the first team to have more interconnection. That is a problem, and they do it on purpose because they don't know how long the manager's going to last. William says data thing. This is for your data analysis comment, Dan. The only data that happens there is if Levy thinks players are too expensive, and that's it. The fool could have the centre half from Napoli years ago. The great businessman strikes again.
Yeah, but the whole thing about the defender from Napoli years ago, you have to take it to the part that it was years ago, and we've just implemented the data system now. So
Kim J was wanted by Jose, man. We haggled over a few million.
I think,
and that's
yeah,
the reason
but I'm talking about the data system being in place. I think Manor Solomon was off the data. Yeah, maybe James Madison wasn't off data. He was already a proven player. Like
Dan, was Solomon off data, or was it the fact that he was free?
Well, it could be both. It could be this guy's on free and his status back him up to be a good footballer.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Van der Ven, I think, was off data. They pulled him off. They pulled him up from data in his being able to play out the back. Vicario was off data.
I think Vicario was all about Paratici. I think Vicario was all about the Paratici still being at the club. I don't think that was data.
I don't know. I remember seeing reports that they had scouted him out, and I remember it being literally right after we got rejected for the Raya deal, which Raya was also off the data.
Right, we didn't want to pay 40 million for a player that was the last season of his contract. We didn't want to pay that money. And the Vicario was one of the goalkeepers in Italy last season. He was one of the better performances.
The thing is, it looks like Ray is going to go to Arsenal for about 25 million.
Yeah, if that happens, I'm going to be so mad.
If that happens, that just
their stance has changed. Brentford's stance has changed.
Just go back in for him and return Vicario back to Italy and just go in for David Raya.
Or Brentford are happier dealing with Arsenal than Spurs, maybe.
Maybe.
And they can go do them.
Or we're the ones that miss out, though, right? So look, let's see. We don't even know. Let's see if they get him.
They don't get 40. They could have had 30 million, but they took 25 million for Arsenal just for being little pricks.
Anthony says, Stel, what have you heard, if anything, about Ange integrating the team and the youth team? Perhaps it's way too early to respond with any news, but I'm curious regarding whether or not that's been changed. There's a lot of restructure going in the academy at the moment. We've lost Chris Powell. We've also got a new academy director who has got a lot of experience. He did really well at Man City, but then when he stepped up to a high level as actual manager, first team coach abroad, he was not very good. So I think youth football is where he needs to stay, but he's in charge of Spurs academy now. Once the restructure's in place and things get going, then I'll know more. But at the moment, no one's going to know anything for a while. So that's my answer to you, Anthony. But there's a lot of restructure going on in the academy. Some people say it's needed. Others say that it's just more fudging and interference. But let's see. Let's see. We'll go another 5 minutes, and then we'll wrap it up, guys. This is a Harry Kane show, but as always, it's turned into a Spurs show.
The reason why it has, because there's no news that's coming out. Harry Kane's they were talking about it. They were talking about midnight. Then it's gone to Saturday morning.
I was hoping we'll go live, and as we're going live, Fabrizio broke the news, and we were like, "Yeah, we're the first ones to talk about it." But
you scared me because of your little clickbait title that you have going on there. Harry Kane is leading Spurs breaking
title.
News.
Listen to these.
I was reading the title, and I literally almost so I went on Twitter and I was like, "Nah, this guy, he's done it again, innit?"
Hold on. Is this clickbait?
We had a gentleman's agreement. No, I'm talking about the title. I'm talking about the title of your video. The title of your video says...
This is the thumbnail. This is the thumbnail. Breaking news.
I'm talking about the title. The crying emoji.
Oh, right, the title.
Harry Kane is leaving Spurs. Breaking news.
Yeah, but do you know what?
Can I say? Is that not clickbait?
Can I say?
He's leaving.
Everybody he has just been finessed. Everybody has just been finessed.
Listen, two things. Number one, as soon as anything breaks out, Spurs are speaking. They're speaking to Tapsoba. Tapsoba joins Tottenham. Bang! Everyone's on that, so everyone does it. Secondly, Dan,
That's not an excuse.
when Kane, no, you're right. It's not an excuse. When Kane leaves in the next week, this weekend, whenever, I would have been the one that said, "Hold on, I told you." Breaking news. I said it. He's gone. So it still works, and he will go. If he doesn't go and he stays, then you can come on the show and just clickbait, cuss me, clickbait, abuse me as much as you want, but only if he doesn't go. If he doesn't go, then I'm right.
He's going, man. He's going this weekend.
Of course he's
I
going.
think
He's gone. He's gone.
again. I've always said it. If the numbers are like, you're thinking, Dan, let me give you an example. You want, I've got a player. I'm saying I want 150 million, and you're offering me 75. The distance between
Such a hater.
what I want, what I want, and what you're requesting is distance. Yeah, but now we're talking about a matter of 6 million, 5 million. It's too close. Like that, it's just a question of finding the add-ons. I think that's the issue there. It's the add-ons, how they're gonna sort that out. Once they get the right numbers, they're sorted. It's done, because the ballpark figure is already been accepted. It's already there. It's just the add-ons that they haven't come to an agreement with.
I don't know why don't they make the add-ons public, like what they are? They never do that. It's like always iffy, right? I remember when we signed Kulusevski, it was like, if we qualify for Champions League, that's the add-on that we'd have to pay.
Should I tell you why, Dan? Should I tell you why?
Why?
If you and I both let's say you and I both work for a company, and in your contract it says that if you score 10 goals, you're going to get £1 million bonus. If you win a trophy with the club, you're going to get another £1 million bonus. In my contract, I don't get the same add-ons as you. If I find out about your add-ons, I'm going to go to my boss and say, why does he get it and I don't? Especially if I'm doing better than you. So I think it's partly to protect the environment not becoming disruptive, and toxic. People saying, oh, but he's got that, she's got that, oh, he gets paid more, oh, but he's allowed to have Saturdays off, why have I got to work Saturday? I think it's just about trying to create a bit of harmony, because if everyone knew everyone's business, it would just be more gossip, more clickbait shows, Dan, more clickbait shows about add-ons. But
also, you'd have every player, your top 3, 4, 5 players will come and knock on your door. Every single one of them will knock on your door and saying, well, why is he earning more than me? Why is he getting his bonus and I'm not? Why?
I'm pretty sure you already get that though, because the amount that they're getting a week is already public. So if you're mad about some player earning more than you, and you don't even know about the add-ons, that's still going to be a case. I think, if anything, maybe those should be put private too. The transfer fees and the wages.
I don't think you can, because you have to put the wages into the accounts.
You have to disclose it. Yeah, you have to disclose it, and it's public information.
I don't think that's as easy. I don't know if you actually have to put the breakdown of what someone earns, but the wages go in there, so people will start guessing and figuring it out. Or compare it to what other clubs do. Look, do you know what? At the end of the day, why should anyone know my business? Why should I have to tell you what I earn and what my add-ons are?
You only disclose what's needed to be disclosed. The stuff that you don't. Sometimes, you get to see the player. A player signs for a club for an undisclosed fee. You get that as well. So,
before we wrap it up, I just want to ask you a question. Are you guys feeling excited about what's going? Because the reason I'm saying, I know it's a bit of a crazy question, but look, we're not excited about all this every day. Harry Kane. Kane. We would have finished 17th if it wasn't for Harry Kane, and non-stop. But when you do see the likes of this man potentially now showing us why we signed him, a young prospect coming to the club, we're looking at other strikers potentially. We've signed Mickey, and we're looking to maybe bring in a couple more. We've got in Maddison. We're playing better football. Look, you know me. I'm Levy out. I'm Enoch out. I hate it all. But are there not signs of encouragement that maybe we are going in the right way, despite the fact that we're about to lose our best player?
Still, I've been
Or-
supporting this club for 5 years, and every single year I start off the season with this excitement, and every single year at the end of the season,
Can't wait to
that
finish.
excitement is. It's like, please, the season. When is it
5 years.
ending? Please, when is it
5
gonna
years.
end?
End
Try
the season,
30.
Dave. End the stream, Dave.
End the
Like-
season, Dave. End the season, Dave.
I'm telling you, like, it's always this excitement. Last year, we imagine a full preseason under Antonio Conte. We're gonna be fighting for the Premier League title. It's always excitement. I bet you anything we're gonna finish off this season. It's not gonna be what fans wanted. They're gonna be disappointed coming into the transfer window. By the end of the transfer window, they're all gonna bring that excitement back up again. It's gonna be.
I think
there's the excitement again.
I think playing football again is going to be good because at the moment all we're getting is this transfer news, this Harry Kane business, and nothing else. So seeing whilst that is going on, it would be nice to see football being played and we have something else to talk about. At the
So
moment,
we can have two
the football
downsides to
could-
talk about.
the football, no, but the football gives you the content, doesn't it? You have the games, and that will give you the content. Whilst the Harry Kane saga is going on, but at the moment we just have the Harry Kane to talk about, nothing else. And
That's
it
probably gonna be
has
done by
dragged on.
tomorrow.
This has been going on since June, and we're now in August. And this is still going on, and nothing else has happened in between. So it's great to get football back and talking about that. Hopefully, we can start on a good foot, or certainly show signs of good stuff happening. Though things will need to, it will take time to get to where we want to be. So the patience still has to be part of our game as fans to allow the manager to do his work. But as long as we can see there's stuff what he's trying to do, then I think it's a positive thing because he wants to play attacking football. So that's something that we want to see. So as long as we can see signs of that, even if the results don't come straight away on the pitch, as long as there's signs of that, then I think we could all be on board with that. Hopefully in that time, the Harry Kane situation gets resolved one way or another, and we can just solely talk about football because as long as it's great, I don't want to say Harry Kane is a grey cloud. He's not a grey cloud, but the situation is a bit of a grey cloud. And you can't have this, and Harry Kane is huge at Spurs. You can't have this going on whilst you're playing football. I think once that clears, once this cloud clears, we can solely focus on what we've got to do on the pitch. And that's the part that I'm looking forward to seeing. And if we can get the two players, the defenders in at the same time, it will be even greater.
But for me though, that might be something that other people are excited for. Maybe that could be a case where I get excited at the attacking football. But to answer Stowe's question on am I excited, the only thing I get excited for is success. And that would account winning trophies. And I have zero hope that will happen next season. So no, I'm not excited.
Sorry, I'm just scoffing my cherries.
We're not as excited. No, we're not as excited as we should be. You're right, Dan. There is an element this time of the season, and Stel, you, me, we should be a lot more. We're 1 week away from the Premier League starting. We should be gassed. But
Come on,
because
boys,
of
we're
this
gonna win the
Harry Kane
league.
situation.
This is the year. This is the
No,
year.
I'm not saying
This is
that.
the year.
That's not. You see this guy, man. This guy
But
is something else.
Dan, you went from not excited to deluded.
I'm saying
that's half of our fan base.
we should
That's
be more
half of our
gassed.
fan base. Brother.
I
should
don't
be more-
think any fan really genuinely deep in their heart really believes Spurs are going to have this great season. I'd rather we just surprise everyone and actually do well, and it'll be a nice surprise and we'll enjoy that because we weren't expecting it. But I think fans who really think it's going to happen, I think you're just setting yourself up for a fail. Like for me,
No, yeah.
I agree with what H said. H summed it right on the bang on point for me, where he says, I will only get excited when the club announces Dyer and Davies and Sanchez
That's
are gone.
bigger than a trophy. That is bigger than a trophy.
But you know what though? I agree with that. I am more excited once I start seeing the Deadwood gone. I call them the problem. On social media, I call them the problem. And people go crazy. Oh, I go, no, they are the problem. And then when Ange defends Ben Davies, I said, why is Ange defending the problem? People don't like it when I talk like that, but it's because I just want to plant it in their heads. Just the problem. Dyer's a problem. Davies is a problem. I do agree. Like if next week Spurs announce Dyer's leaving, Ben Davies being sold, would you not think? Do you know what?
Still, brother.
I feel good about that. Would you not feel good?
Still.
Or would
You
you be?
sound- you-
Oh, that's a shame.
You still, you
No,
talk like a
we need to
you talk
start
like
getting rid
a
of some of these
activist.
players, man.
I feel like an activist.
Yes, brother.
Because-
You
No,
just
we-
listen to yourself. You just said I gotta say stuff to plant stuff in people's head.
Yeah, yeah.
We got to
Absolutely.
get rid of the dead
Brother.
wood, guys. We got a big squad. We
Man, I'm
have
a
got big
protester.
squad.
I protest every game. Like, what do you want from me?
We got a big squad. We need to start getting rid of a few of these numbers and these players. We got to get rid. The
You
three
know what I
players
hear
that we
every
just
season?
saw: Ndombele, Brian Hill. We got to start getting rid of players that we realistically, guys, are not going to be part of the
We've got like
journey.
37 players in the squad. We've got something.
It's
We've got a crazy,
insane.
crazy squad. In
It's
fact, I've got it here.
insane.
I've got it here. Hold on.
We've got a list
I've
of
got-
players there that we should be
Not
getting
you.
rid of.
You also
Pla-
get excited.
Players that we know from now that are not going to be part of this squad. They're not going to be part of the journey.
Look at this. Look at this. Lloris, Vicario,
Lloris,
Forrester, Austin, Whiteman, Porro,
Austin.
Royal, Spence, Romero,
We got
Dyer,
5
Davies, Sanchez, Roland, Tangango, Doji, Reggie, Cess,
Let's be real though,
Hibia,
Iggy. Let's be
Skipsar,
real though, Iggy.
Ndombele,
5
Benson,
Lloris
Paula,
and
Delta,
goalkeepers, man.
Madison, Kulu, Solomon, Kane, Richie,
Oh, how do
Son,
we have so
Perisic,
many
Hill. Look, this is,
Yes,
by the way,
I
this
say
is,
Hill. I say
can I
Hill
say,
because
can I say
Wait.
that's without the youngsters like Parrott, Scarlett, Donington. That's without the academy
Stop.
players that everyone said we need a manager that brings through the academy players as well. So how many players we got here?
Still, can you
One,
can you
two,
put that
three,
list
four,
up
five.
again? Okay, the defenders. Look at that list of defenders. Take into account that only one of them can defend.
I would only keep 2. I'm serious. I would only keep 2.
Okay, Odochi, I'd say I'd keep. Romero, I would keep. How are we feeling about Jed Spence? I think I would keep him for like the progression, for the future.
Dan,
I'm not ready to count him out.
Dan, we haven't seen him play. We have no
I'm
idea.
saying- But I'm saying I
I
would
don't
keep
know.
him for the future. For the future, I wouldn't say
But
start
why?
him. Don't-
but
I'm not saying
why-
start him
okay.
the amount of
Why
players
would
that you got.
you keep him? Why would you keep
No
him if you're
European
not seeing him
football.
play?
because I've heard a lot
If
of
you-
managers speak good about him, and I think he's a decent player. I think he's a decent player.
Mourinho said Skip's a future Tottenham captain. So we need to take what people say with a pinch of salt, right? With Spence, I don't think any Spurs fan can have an opinion because we've never seen him play more than about 30 minutes ever.
So
We've
then
never
how can we
seen
say
the
to
guy-
get rid of him then? So then how can we
No,
say
I'm
to
not-
get
I'm not-
rid of him?
I'm not saying to get rid of him. I'm saying I don't think we know what to do with him because we've never seen him.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I would keep him to see for the
We've
future.
got
That's what I
three
just-
right backs
And then Royale get rid of him.
Porro,
I would keep. I'd keep
Spence,
Porro.
and Emerson. That's 3
Van
players.
de Ven is
we've
not
got
on
there.
that list though. Van de Ven is not on that list though. So I keep Van de Ven obviously. as
Yeah,
well.
this is before Van de Ven signing. Yeah,
Yeah, but
Solomon's not on there. Oh, yeah, that man is there. Solomon's there. Sorry.
But three right backs you want to keep: Spence, Royale, and Porro. It's
Spence,
Romero,
Royale,
Dyer,
Porro.
Davis, Sanchez, Rodon, Tanga. Where are we
I
going
wouldn't-
with those
I wouldn't
centre
keep
backs,
Royale.
man?
I wouldn't keep Royale, but we are going to. Let's be real. If we're realistic, I'd say none of them leave.
Keep Porro, keep Royal, loan Spence, but loan him to another Premier League team so you can see him play in the league that we want to see him perform in. And we can then, in a lower team, somewhere mid-table or low, just lower, see how he fares up in the Premier League. Give him a season there, and we'll have a better idea on how he's getting on. He gets to play regularly in that team. Yeah, we need to pick the team that he's going to be playing regularly in, and see how he fares up. And at the end of next season, we make a decision on him. If we keep, then we get rid of one of the players that I just mentioned, Porro or Royale, because we're going to then play Spence, who's also English, which would help the quota as well. And the other players, same thing. Brian Hill. Someone said, "Well, why Brian Hill?" Because you got Kulusevski, Richarlison, and Son. Let's just not include Kane in this moment. Then you got Perisic as cover. You got Solomon as cover. Where's Hill going to fit in all of that? For
Iggy,
me,
Graham makes a good point. Why have we got 5 goalkeepers?
I just said it. That was the first
Lloris
comment.
is one of them.
Lloris is
one
going
of
to
them, let's be
go,
real.
but Lloris has only got market in at the moment. Saudi Arabian teams want him, but I believe he wants to go back to France. But there's no interest from him. There's no interest. I said it earlier on the stream. There are no interest for any unwanted players at Tottenham. None. Where's the Højbjerg interest gone with Atletico Madrid? What's happened to that? Where's the likes of what's happened to the Perisic? I thought he was meant to be going back to Croatia. That's nothing. Rodon, Tanganga, dead. Dead.
Shall I tell you what's happened? I'll tell you what's happened. I said it after the when we beat the Sailors. Players that are supposed to shine aren't shining, and these fringe players, the ones we thought, okay, they're going to have a little go and then they'll be sold. They've stepped up. The Lo Celsos, for example, and I think now
Lo Celso I'll keep. I'll keep Lo Celso.
I think there's a lot of players that maybe we thought go. Like Reggie's had a good preseason. Reggie's had a good preseason so far, right? So I think there's players that we thought we were going to sell that now the manager's probably saying, no, I want to keep them.
I do like them.
Yeah. And I also think that there's a situation where the club, here you've got 32 players, right? Add Mickey van der Ven, 33. Add the academy players, and it goes up and up and up, right?
No European football, by the way. So you've got one game a week, 35 players.
So you got to get rid of 8 players, not including new ones coming in, and not including any academy players that we might want to bring through. We are now 3.5 weeks away from the window ending, and I think for us to bring in players and put a couple of academy kids into the mix, like Alfie Devine, who you saw pre-season, we need to get rid of anything between 10 to 12 players for this to happen. And we've got 3.5 weeks. There's no director of football. I don't understand how we as fans aren't a bit worried about this. And like you said, that's there's a lot of dross here. Like you said, Iggy, look at those defenders. What planet are we on?
The thing is, I can't even be the centre backs. We've got so many, and we can't get a pair. We cannot form a 2 centre back partnership. In the amount of those centre backs we've got there, we cannot get 2 to say, you know what, he's the best partner. We've had to go and bring another player in because they're not good enough. And the fact of the matter is, there's no market for them. You cannot get rid of those players because there's no interest in those very players. When you look at a market that everybody's getting bought for a ridiculous amount of money, we cannot get rid of £5-10 million worth of players. None. Unless we as a club ask, how can we ask too much for players that have not proved absolutely anything at this club? So I don't know.
I would have accepted the bid that Fenerbahce made for Sanchez.
Fenerbahce.
I don't know why Sanchez is still at the club. It doesn't make any sense why Davinson Sanchez is still at this football club.
No, I think we accepted it. Sanchez was the one that rejected it. Who are you to be rejecting bids?
No, listen, him going to Spartak Moscow, I wouldn't be going to Russia now. I wouldn't be joining the Russian league. I wouldn't be moving to that country right now, given the situation, climate, the situation.
Yeah.
I don't blame him for that.
How do you right? There's sanctions on Russia, so if you sell the player to Russia, how do you receive the money from Russia when they pay us for Sanchez? How do we receive that? There's sanctions. You can't take money from Russian companies. What are they going to do? Send it to
that bid? How are we even going to entertain that bid when we literally got a friendly coming up to fundraise for Ukraine?
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I never actually believed he was actually going to join there. I think realistically speaking, there seems to be interest from the Turkish market. To get those players in. I'm not sure what happened with that Galatasaray's 10 million bid for Ndombele. I'm not sure what's happened with Sanchez has been brought up. Hill, do Seville want him back? But he's now injured now for 2 months. The rest of the guys, man, there's nothing. There's nothing on Rodon. There's nothing on Tanganga. There's nothing on any other player. Sessegnon's injured. He's going to be out for a long time. Lloris, why don't we just rip up his contract and allow a longest serve player, just rip his contract up and say, Lloris, go. Why are we keeping his player under contract?
I would rip so many contracts. if I was put in charge of Tottenham for 1 day, 24 hours, the first thing I would do, Dyer's contract, Sanchez's contract,
You
Davies'
can't. You
contract.
can't because if you start ripping players, if you start ripping players that are under contract, or start ripping their contracts, they can do you in, man.
Oh my god.
Change the battery pack.
Bro, it's so annoying. I just need to buy this dummy battery so I can like not have to keep changing it. It just stays in forever. It's so
You
stupid.
can't rip up. You can't rip up people's contracts.
Just say thank you to everyone. 300 likes for this show, and you've just got us over 4,400 subs for the channel. So much appreciated for that. A few questions here that I've just ticked. I'll quickly.
Yeah, let's answer them before we wrap it up, man. You said we wrap it up 20 minutes ago. 5 more minutes. 20 minutes ago, in true Stel style, man.
I know. Stel didn't answer my question. Is Mikey Moore a future star? Yes, but with every young player, they need to be given game time. He is a good player, though, Cubed, but it's whether he gets game time. Stel shaved or dyed the beard. I did both. I shaved it, and then I dyed the grey bit just there. I do it every kind of 2-3 weeks.
Just let the grey come through, man.
No, because no, what it is because yours is all grey mainly. It looks
you're
good.
Not fooling anyone.
No. I'm not trying to fool anyone. I'm trying to answer you. Let me explain. If I don't dye it, I look like a zebra. It's like patchy. Once it all goes grey, then I won't do it. But for now, I can't because it's patchy. It's like there. It looks. I look like a panda bear or a zebra or it doesn't work. And the other one is
maybe I should do the same.
No, you're okay because you've got your grey flows. Mine's anyway. But why would
mine's pretty good too. Mine's pretty good. I don't know if I should dye it. I don't know if I should.
You'll have to wait another 10 years there, Dan, before it really starts.
I'm not getting a beard. I'm shaving that thing on as soon as it comes on.
You don't need to shave, man.
That ting. Why are you talking like a Londoner?
Brother, every time I say something,
Stel
goes.
Wow.
And then he starts laughing. Every time I say a sentence,
you absolute fraud, man.
He's a fraud. You are a fraud,
mate. You should be. We love Americans and American accent, and you're just completely killing your one. You're like, just now you're.
All right, guys. Let's go on with the rest of this video.
Do you know what? When I hear Mari talk, when I hear TJ talk, when I hear Will Stewart talk, when I hear Cube talk, I'm like, yeah. Do you know what? It sounds kind of cool. And I hear you going, "What's up, brother? What's that thing?" I'm like, "Who are you? Who is this? Who is this guy?"
I'm from London, fam. I'm telling you, fam.
From UK. Oh my god.
Oh my god. I'm telling you, every sentence I say. Every sentence I say. I promise you. Bro, it's every sentence I say.
I can't take it.
My Dan. You're watching expressions too much, man.
I'm watching too much.
You do make me laugh, man. You make me laugh. You do make me laugh.
Rob says, you always hate on Davies still. He tries his heart out for us. The others, I agree, keep them under your bed. Listen, Rob, I praise him for effort. Okay, well done. Like, you try. It's just not good enough. It's not good enough. We need players that are actually good. He's been at the club for 10 years. He's been part of the problem, right? Along with a lot of players. He's lost his pace. I think it's just, he's got to go. Like, if we seriously want to be successful...
Do you remember he bought it at Brentford, that winger, last home game of the season.
Mboma. Is it Mboma?
Mboma, yeah. He absolutely, I can't remember his name. He absolutely ripped him a new one, right? And I was right there to see it firsthand. Longley and Davis, go and rewatch that game. Ruined him. And we're looking at potentially playing Davis at left back. He got absolutely annihilated by that winger that day, and I don't want to see that no more. I feel bad for him. I really do. I think he's good in the 3 centre backs. I think he's actually okay in the 3 centre backs. In a centre back as a 2 for me is a no. As a left back in a 4 for me is an absolute no. He will get ripped a new one, and to be honest with you, no.
I gotta go.
I'm not a fan. All right, mate.
Dan, take care. We're going to wrap up anyway. Guys, make sure you like, subscribe, follow Dan THFC, the road to 2000. Let's get him there ASAP. Dan, big up.
Big up, Dan.
Elias, do you find my accent similar to Eugene's? No.
I
think you two have got very different accents.
Way different. Yeah, too different.
He speaks like he's from Jamaica. Fake maker.
I don't even know
Fake
if
maker.
I don't
Fake
know.
maker.
Yeah,
American milk
Jamaican.
in UK slang. Honestly, bro, some advice. Be you. Don't listen. With Double D, we have told him. The entire American community on YouTube has told him as well. Right? He's getting it from the British side and the American
And
side.
the Americans. You look in the chat. Look, the American guys are being absolutely annihilated him as well. We
And
tried.
he keeps going down this path of fraudulence.
The kid's the same age as my son, and one thing they both have in common: they don't listen too good.
You don't listen. Was it in Jamaica? They
Oh.
say you got hard ears. You got hard ears.
Jamaican.
Yeah. Guys, look, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to have 2
He's a
hours.
good boy.
Thank you
We
for
love
watching.
Dan. We love Dan, by the way.
Listen, Dan THFC is one of the family, man. 100%.
You know what? They're going to be the future of YouTube. Him,
God help us.
Robbie
God
from
help us.
Robbie from Lily White Lane. They're young, the 14, 16-year-old kids. They'll do really well, man.
Iggy's children and Will Stewart's children are going to take over Tottenham away one day. It's going to be theirs. I think that's the direction we're going in. I just want to say a quick thank you to Anthony Lafleur, Tom81, Anthony again, Avishak, big up to you. London Bro, thank you for your donation, and also to the Spurs fan for becoming a channel member. Thank you to everyone. Everyone in the comments as well. We've tried to get as many comments and questions from you guys too, so enough respect. Got to promote the youth. They will replace us. And there you go. We'll end it with that. That's a nice way to end it. Harry Kane will be gone by the time I next do my breaking news Harry Kane clickbait video show. If we sign Tapsoba, I'll do a player analysis on him as well, comparing him to Romero and Van der Ven. But we've got to sign him first. Iggy, anything to say before we go?
Yes, my oldest boy does support Liverpool, but my youngest one that you've seen many a times in the stream is an absolute Spurs fan. So he will be the one to represent moving forward. There you go. That's the one.
One Scouser, one Spurs fan. All right. Just remember, if you are going to Spurs this weekend, protest against ticket prices. This isn't the Spurs Trust. This is us, the usual protest group. We're doing this. Brian Daigle will be there, frontline. Check it out. Support. And have a great weekend, people. Enjoy yourselves. We will be back. Sunday's the Shakhtar Donetsk game, so we've got live watch along.
Yeah.
Then Will Stewart will be going live in the evening, doing his late night analysis. And then we will all be back on Monday night for our regular podcast. Other than that, we're out of here. Peace.
Come on, you Spurs.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.